welcome. Hello, hi and cheers, and today we will be multitasking, because I'm so fucking behind. Hi Timon, hi. I can't deal with this sober. Need first a quick sip before we begin. Alright. Hi the caper, hi Timon. Make it! Guess what? I met Remco. Good. I figured, actually. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend as if that's coming at me from the dark. I was kind of expecting that to happen, since you mentioned it once or twice or thrice, possibly 4 times. How was it? How was your day with Remco? Hi, the caper, by the way. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, hi, quite well, gotta say. And I would like to use this opportunity, because I'm here for the first time, to thank everyone who invented the concept of money, because without money, I wouldn't be able to translate my puns into voice from the text form I've used recently. So yeah, thank you to everyone who contributed to monetary system of the world.
You are, in fact, the first person ever to join in the stream for the first time and start your presence here by thanking everyone for inventing money. Right, okay, yeah. I mean, listen.
First time for everything, yeah.
I'll take it. Now, today on this stream, hi Timon as well.
Hello.
Today on this stream, there's a lot, I had a fun idea for what I could do. A really fun one. Well, fun one in my opinion. Because if you remember correctly, and you should, it wasn't that long ago, last stream, which was once again today, a couple of hours ago, I set out on a long and tedious journey to set up my audio amplifier with the speakers in order to play sound using a microcontroller. And that long and tedious journey ended in half an hour because it worked on the first fucking try. So I had some other fun ideas we could have done right now. I could have figured out an audio library, which I then could have connected from the zero through the audio amplifier to the speakers, and I could actually play music, genuine music. I could play music on the speakers from the zero, alright? But we're not gonna do that. We are not going to do that, and the main reason why is because, mainly because Jesse is dead and I can't really work into the mask, which means I don't have the measurements required in order to figure out what kind of cables to use. However, at the same time, I am really behind on the addition bonds video, and for that we mainly need 3 things that we have to work on, and that is the animations, the script, and the research, because for the last segment we are still lacking a fair bit of a bit of background to really tie in all nice together, and I do believe that molecular vibration would be the most beautiful way to end the video. So vibrational states, because that kind of ties in everything from every single chapter into one single concise model, and so that's what we'll need to research a bit today, at the same time whilst animating, Make it.
You're getting bullied. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say right now. You're getting bullied in the chat for forgetting to ping at streams.
I didn't forget to. I intentionally didn't, because I feel like if I'm doing 2 or 3 streams a day, then pinging every single time, that feels like going a bit overboard, doesn't it?
Oh, so we're going a niche stream today.
Yeah,
a hidden stream.
Underground stream.
Real Naked fans. The real Naked fans are going to join in and make it, and the other fans are going to be left out. So now we are discussing the very secret stuff, the very secret make it plans on how to make it in life in this universe. Yeah, I get it.
Oh no,
Bye.
I ran out of my drink. I need to... You know what? No, let's go for a healthy route. I'm gonna make myself some coffee. There we go.
I guess better than whiskey.
No, and you met Remco today, right?
Yesterday.
Oh yeah,
Well,
for some reason I thought you said I met Remco today, but how was it?
it was great. They're kind of different in person than VC, but like not too. A bit strange. Like not that. Like, I don't know how much I can say.
Does Remco have a hammer that's being carried around?
No, it's
Is it some unsuspecting people doing shit?
comically enough, that is more like me, having a hammer and carrying it around. Because out of me and Remco, I am the one who historically had a massive hammer they carried around. Until I fucking lost it.
Wait. So to sum up, you enjoy taking strolls in shady neighborhoods,
Yeah.
and then the next day you say, I'm carrying a hammer around.
No, I'm no longer. I used to.
Casually.
No. Well, not
You
also
used
not
to, yeah.
casually. The thing is, no. It's just like it was funny because I didn't have a welding station, obviously, but I knew someone who had a welding station. So what I did is I took all of the like pieces for the hammer, which was the hammerhead, which the hammerhead I believe was some kind of construction beam piece that solidifies in place, and then the handle was obviously just like a rod. And so I had to go to the place to the guy who had the soldering machine. Not the soldering, and welding machine. I welded it up over there, and then I had to walk back to my apartment carrying a massive, oversized, comically large hammer. I looked mental, and I lost that hammer. I don't know where it is. It doesn't make sense for me to have it anymore because I would need to like accidentally. I have a vague memory of packing it when I was moving like half a year ago, but then I couldn't find it in my new apartment, and now that I moved into this apartment, I don't know in what package I could have possibly moved the hammer. It's a big one. Hi, the Glitter Roddy. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Oh shit,
This guy is my homie, and I just sent him my Rise Up Discord setup and my Spotify one because I'm rising them recently. And then I just casually dropped the link to the stream and said, "Yeah, I'm gonna be there if you want to join in." I don't know if he watches me, but I just, out of courtesy, send the link, and there he is.
I like
He's
it.
a real homie, a real legend,
I like
and
it.
he got greeted.
My intuition was that you were flexing on the peasants, but I like that it took a wholesome role in this case. I like that. Oh, this looks nice. Oh no, this is going to be a pain. I have so many things open in the background as well. I wanted to do something fun. I really did want to do something fun today, but unfortunately, I am I am in a bit of a above average of a financial pickle, so we're making a boring old fucking video today. And for that, we're gonna need to make it. Anyhow, about those tensions in the Middle East, am I right? my number one icebreaker. Did I mention the...
I love you try acting as if you are normal by talking about politics, and it somehow sounds even weirder than anything else. You could just start talking about, I don't know, some molecular friction causing the temperatures to drop. But as you start talking about the politics, it just feels so bad, so wrong, so forced.
I'm very ironic and sarcastic. Like I only mention politics ironically. I don't believe that politics is real. Actually, I feel like it's just a big. It's just propaganda made up by. It's propaganda made up by big government to have a more big government. Oh no, wait, that's actually politics. Doesn't matter. Okay, no. I did mention it on stream, but I do believe at one point about this one legend when I brought up politics once. And like once again, I did my typical icebreaker. About those tensions in the Middle East, am I right? Like purely ironically, and that legend actually replied and went in on like a ramble, like a massive schizophrenic ramble. They knew it was a bit, but I'm just uploading their commitment to the bit. Okay, there we go. All of these go to the first. Then what we need is second, and that will be our beautiful looking function. Why are you flat? And it. Oh no, you make sense. Yeah, right. You should be flat. Okay, good. And then what we need is a third, which will be a make it for now. Oh, look at that lovely, lovely make it.
Oh, I love it. I gotta love it. I was saying something and then suddenly my Bluetooth headset just decided to stop Bluetoothing, and then my Wi-Fi just decided to stop Wi-Fiing, and then I just got disconnected for like, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Murphy's Law, if something can go wrong, it will go wrong.
I don't even know if it was perceivable if I was cut off or not. I don't know what point I was cut off in, and it might have been an end of a sentence, like an invisible cutoff.
Yeah, I didn't notice you cutting off.
Huh.
So, the result of this, let's say, experiment conducted by my technological equipment is that I just can say anything, and if someone stops listening, then it doesn't matter because the entire information has been passed in the like first 3 words or so.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
wait,
it
what?
was
I feel
fun.
like we're missing some context. Hold on.
So I said I was cut off by my greatest equipment in the world. And then Positron said something like, oh, I didn't even notice you were cut off, which indicates that I can just leave out every half of my sentence and it wouldn't matter at all because apparently there's so many filler I use.
Or, you cut off when Make It was speaking and not you.
Yeah, that's probably something that might have happened as well. I can tell because I watched the stream in the real time to know whether it actually picks me up or not. And there's some kind of delay. And I'm aware of this delay, so that I had to turn off the sound because otherwise we would get a nice feedback loop, which is quite fine if we do a voice chat. That way, I get to know that my Bluetooth device is not ready to pair. First, after like, I don't know, 30 seconds or so, it really is dog shit.
I really like what Bav said with, what does the hyperbolic tangent have to do with a giant peanut? What doesn't it have to do with a giant peanut? I agree.
Give this man the best comment.
There is this one phenomenon, by the way, I feel like I need to mention, and it's a property that I find on the server more and more people have. Or actually, not more and more, only it's a spectrum. It's a spectrum, and everyone lies somewhere on that spectrum. It's been a mystery for me for quite some time. It is basically how, when people talk, how much effort it takes for me in order to understand what they're talking about. And that's not accent, by the way. That's not an accent. That's a certain way of speaking, where if certain people talk, I cannot just passively listen. I sometimes need to listen actively. Timon, for example, is a fucking min-maxer of that. Unless I actively focus on what Timon is saying, it feels like, well, I don't have no clue what they're talking about. And I think a big part of it is the way people accent their sentences. I feel like that's a big part of it. So, for example, in your case, Caper, you have a very monotone way of accenting things. So you keep it relatively same level throughout the entire sentence. So in your case, I do need to pay a little bit of attention in order to actually figure out what you're saying, and I can't just do it completely passively. In Timon's case, I do believe that you are doing the complete opposite, which is you accent things just counter to how they're normally accented, which is why because you go on a lot of tangents, and it seems like you confuse yourself when you talk, and that makes and that makes it really hard to follow. Flame, for example, is really, really convenient to listen to, because Flame has a way of like talking about, well, mostly about science, is what I mostly talk about with Flame. But when Flame explains scientific concepts, he like tunes down all of the things which will not be relevant to the explanation, and then really hammers in on those that are relevant. And so it's just a little thing I've noticed by interacting with people in this community, that for every single person there's like there's a different way. Quasar, for example, also an amazing speaker. Quasar's also an amazing speaker because, well, that mainly through his stories, but he accents things that are important to the story. Who was it that took it? Oh, Hatake, for example. Hatake has such a fucking monotone way of speaking. So completely monotone that I genuinely cannot tell sometimes when Hatake finishes a sentence or not. And it's not because I'm not listening, only you have no context clues. You need to like actually process every single word in order to figure out if they finish a sentence. It's just something I've noticed because I'm, well, trying to do the ADHD thing of streaming and talking like a normal person would.
This is a very funny thing because I speak in a monotone fashion whenever I do voice chat, because I have to focus like twice as much to make a sentence make sense, to translate it correctly, because every day I'm speaking in like 3 to 4 languages, and that doesn't mix well when doing voice chat.
Okay, that's a fair reason.
Whenever I'm doing a presentation and I have some notes or whatever, then I can make the intonation of my sentences quite well. I just can plan it out in advance, and then it just goes naturally. But whenever I do voice chat, it just is, well, did I miss a word? Do I need to add something more? Oh no, I forgot half the context, so I can't end this sentence. So it's easier to just drop the intonation at all. Someone would have to figure it out. Yes, that's correct. But on the other hand, I can just passively name every detail.
I mean, yeah, speaking in multiple
a whole
languages,
sentence.
I would say is a fair reason. I myself just mostly do English, so I don't bother.
Yeah, I mostly do Hungarian. I only started regularly speaking English when I joined your servers, so yeah.
I would love to do only English or only German or whatever, but the field of work, or just the way I do have to conduct my stuff around, forces me to use 4 languages on a daily basis, and that fucks me over in this particular
imagine.
aspect. And it happens in all languages. Like, people are pissed off because whenever I speak Polish, I'm just monotone. Whenever I speak German, it's monotone. If I speak English, it's monotone. Apart from the times, as I said, where I can plan it in advance and it just comes over naturally. But when I have to improvise, it just fucking sucks.
I mean, I do have to say, the more I listen to you, the better it gets. I feel like I'm just tuning into you. I'm just tuning into your way of speaking.
Yeah, you have to get my attack pattern. It gets better
Exactly.
with time. But if it's a person that I'm meeting for the first time or for the only time, then they think it fucking sucked. Whatever I say, I could just say nothing or say everything, and it comes over as a very tedious experience. With time, it gets better, yeah, but whenever it's just a single talk or whatever the hell, it just feels tedious. Gotta say, I get it a lot.
Why the fuck is our model? Why the fuck is my model? Why was it by default set to quaternion rotation? That's sociopathic. No, rotate XYZ Euler like a normal person. There we go. I'm sorry, I'm just twisting my make-its. Not the moment.
Oh yeah, and the grammar. Don't get me started on grammar. Whenever I get the intonation right, I just forget half the grammar rules and start doing German grammar in English or Polish grammar in French. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, the European. You got the European accent, don't you? That's what I called when someone speaks multiple European languages and they just end up with an amalgamation.
What doesn't help, my first language Polish, but from the south of Poland, the Silesia region, which has its own dialect and way of speaking, and it really fucked over any accent I have in any language ever. It's stuck with me forever. And the fun part is, as I said in chat, in any language I use, I don't have a valid accent. Accent is just a mixture of everything at once. And I can't even pronounce things in my hometown the way they are supposed to be pronounced because of that. And it fucking slaps. On one hand, it sucks, but on the other, it slaps. I think it's very cool.
I like what you said. For someone from Hungary, Timon speaks English so well. That is. What is the word for racism when it's about nationality?
No, wait, who said that? Hold on.
Chakl.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, understandable since this is a very heavy accent because the words are so different, the entire language is so different. It is really difficult to, yeah.
I hope I get to twist my make it one day. We'll
I'll
all
have
make
to
it.
go in a minute. I just dropped by for a few minutes because the first time's the charm. I will drop by in the next streams, I think, as well. But I have to say one thing for the end. I think the way Hungarians speak English is somewhat resembling the Despicable Me grew accenting, the way of accenting things like grew in Despicable Me does. I don't know why, but it just was this way.
Someone said that in the past. Oh my goodness, that happened once. Someone drew a parallel between Gru and Timon. Oh, when did that happen?
Wait, no.
Minions, we do need to steal the moon. I can do this.
That happened on one of the streams. Yeah.
Wait, was it? No, it was our behated prime minister who was.
Oh yeah, it was Albin! There we go, the view with Albin! Yes! Oh, thank you. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, that was the one. Minions, we are going... I can't even do that.
I love Hungarian accent. It just feels so great to listen to. It just
Such a shit first.
I'm glad you like it.
I say it. Personally, I say it because I don't speak Hungarian. My accent is an amalgamation of five other accents, so I have to cope somehow.
Like, I don't personally like it. Like, I love the language. I don't like the accent. But if you like it, I'm glad you do.
Yeah, anyways, as I said, I would have to go now, and I will presumably come back later or not, even chat. However, habosh babosh and have a nice stream, everyone.
Alright, bye, see ya.
Hello, bye.
Don't mind me, everyone, by the way. I'm just turning off the different tabs I have open. Very reasonable tabs. Okay, there we go. Now, as a function. Wait. There we go. A comically large hoop is the next thing we'll need. We're just going to be a ring. That's it. I'm not gonna overdo it. Voice acting is most combo of Spanish, French, and Russian. What a wild combo it is. Yeah, just, you know, those three languages which are very similar. French, Spanish, and Russian. Why did we invent so many accents? Such an inconvenience. Why can't we all speak in the same accent? Well, I mean, you know, British try to help with that, I suppose. One second.
By the way, make it when will that video come out that is featuring Ramco? Just a random question.
Oh, we still haven't. Oh yeah, I still haven't. Well, the thing is, I was supposed to talk with Remco about the script, but then he went to Hungary. So I don't know. I do not know.
My bad.
Depends when we finally. Fuck, I don't have to make it. Depends when we like walk through the script and plan everything properly. I learned yesterday that the American accent is actually the original way English was pronounced, and the Brits' way of speaking was made up as a way to sound more posh. Weston, where did you learn that? Because to say original way English was pronounced is a very, very bold claim, considering how wildly how many different ways there are to pronounce words in English.
Yeah, what I know that is true is that the and I believe this is where this information like comes from, is that like the English before the Americans actually went to England was like, no, the English other way around. Other way around. That was like something in between current American accent and current British accent, but was closer to current American accent, but it wasn't either. It was just, so basically the American deviated a bit less than the British from the old-timey accent.
Are you all certain about this? Because I am skeptical at the very least. Look it up, by the way. How am I supposed to look that up? What do you want me to look for? What do you mean? What am I supposed to look for here that would give me the answer? What kind of search can I make that would give me the answer? Because if I just ask if, then I'm only going to I'm only gonna get the materials that support that claim. How the fuck am I supposed to look it up in a way that's satisfactory? That's such a wild question. I don't know. How was American accent developed? Developed. My brain just went blank for a second. Where did the American accent come from? There we go. American British, both accents were largely historic speakers, which is the traditional American English pronunciation were like winter. Speech came to the modern British who had American during the Industrial Revolution. Distinguished from the other common sense. Yeah, so it's posh. Yeah, so British English is just posh English, whilst the American English is the peasant English.
What did I miss? I'm back.
You didn't miss much.
Alright.
The British incorporates from British Ninja. It was way off, so of course, the African Germany, which brought large wave of immigrants of the native tongues. The Western American accent is an umbrella accent perceived to be neutral and free of regional characteristics. It lacks accent notable socio-linguistic sounding features such as non-restrictive speech, features and incorporation of letter I, and social-economic values. Traditional US regional accents are on the verge of extinction due to the influence of social mass mainstream media. Children learn less vulnerable languages and cultures. YouTube Disney color whose main characters speak in standard Midwestern American accent, the children adopt to ban. Yeah, okay, so like the old US accent is the. See, we've gone down the rabbit hole. I'm rendering in the background Quasar. This is expected, and honestly, kind of, I'm hoping for the sort of thing.
Hi there, Quasar.
Okay, yeah, so original US accent was just the peasant way of talking British. And then the British is the posh one, which honestly, I'm not too surprised by, considering how that's kind of how, everyone interprets British accent anyway. But that is for the old classical. So traditional US regional accents. It's them's. American English. Okay. Now, back to this. What is the next thing? Oh yeah, comically large hoop. That's what's needed. That's what I need. No, absolutely not. Absolutely yes. Well, absolutely not again. Damn it, why can't I just figure out a simple way to do this? There we go. Cancer bad, might as well prevent it. Exactly. Rhotic speakers pronounce the R's as hard and winter because the not. Pronounce the R sound hard. Do they pronounce it as had? How do you?
Anyhow, I'm getting sleepy. I'm gonna go now. Good night, everyone.
All right, see ya. Bye. Hard winter. American accents have remained erotic. Some exceptions, New York and Boston accents have become non-erotic. Okay. Then later, right, bye capers. Well, bye and see ya. Bye and see ya, bye and see ya. In the meantime, I'm gonna just do the thing that we always do. Just middle, up, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, in the meantime, now that we're done the whole accent speech, we can after this, move this a fair bit more. Actually, we don't need to move it. It's only on an angle, isn't it? Yeah, okay. There we go. And this will be our hoop. Now the only difference is we need to move the hoop. I haven't met anyone in the US say how and winter. But the US itself has a lot of South accents. That does make sense. Hi, the Bionet, by the way. Hi, welcome. How you doing? And comic large hoop. Oops. There we go. I still messed up the rim, but oh well, that happens. We'll just have it to be metallic, roughly grayish, higher up on the metallic scale, lower down the roughness. Then this should be fine. Now one last thing is this focal point which we want to move back right here to have a lovely naked intent be in focus and at the same time the hoop. And the animation. The US has like 24 dialects of English. That does check out as well. I mean, makes sense. There is a lot of America actually. It's kind of wild. 24? A single language is still maddening. Can you make it score a reverse shot in the video? I suppose I could. Like, I can. I don't know if I will, because I don't know if I can work the bin to the video. Alaskan is one of the weirdest. What's an Alaskan accent like? Or dialect, sorry. No, because I'm falling asleep. I know what I need this. Alright. Molecular vibration. Vibrational states. This will be important. So, vibrational states. What have we got here? What have we got here? The of the capacity of original emotional polarity, more into lies a free and pulling concept of special degree of freedom which independently from motion. A single atom has free special degree of freedom because it can move in free independent orthogonal dimensions and directions in space. Makes sense. We can see the atoms emotion of atomic nuclear molecules and because nuclear positive charge are coupled together by electrostatic interaction with the electrons, which are negative charge. The electrons between two nuclei effectively attract them to each other, forming a chemical bond. Right. The atomic molecule, which has 6 degrees of freedom. The motion of the atoms is constrained by the bond. If one atom moves, a force will be exerted on the other atom because of the bond. The situation is like two balls coupled together by a string. 6 degrees of freedom, but the motion of atom 1 along XYZ is not independent of the motion of atom 2 along XYZ because the atoms are bound together. Makes sense again. As if all not useful You're learning while writing the script. Yes, I am. No coordinates. I need to go through this to figure out very concise and specific questions I can later on ask Flame in order to make sure that my reasoning is correct. And then a combination of some the coefficients can be imaginary or any positive or negative number, including +1, -1. For example, find the vector. Dimension space is a combination of units. Right, makes sense. Yes, this is basics of linear algebra. Okay, so right here. Yeah, okay. Every source Alaskan is as if you took every main dialect, accent like Californian, Texan, New York, and then muddled them together, and also part Native American. So it's just every single one. What does it sound like? I'm curious. You got me actually curious about accents. This is wild. I am usually the most anti-nationalist person. I really have a hard time caring about like cultures or languages or accents or any of that stuff. And you actually got me curious into what an Alaskan accent sounds like. The position of two atoms can be written as vectors out to vectors and components. Okay. To make more easy for the condition, that's just okay. This is just basic like linear algebra, isn't it? Any combination of the atomic coordinate that describes the coupled motion of all atoms. A normal mode is the coupled motion of all the atoms described by a normal coordinate. The atomic molecules have only one normal vibrational mode. For coordinate, polyatomic molecules have many. Okay. Hi, the ninja. I don't get nationalists, they're so weird. I mean, I don't even mean like nationalists. I mean like a lot of people are interested in nationalist things. You know, as in languages, cuisines, cultures, all those sort of things. But I just never found them interesting. I never really cared for anything of that. The main reason why whenever anyone asks me where I'm from, the main reason why I answer Eastern Europe instead of giving a specific country, because I know every single person asks for a country. Oh, don't worry, I know that. But every single time I answer with Eastern Europe simply to avoid all the questions about the specific country, because I just don't care, and most of the time I can't even answer them. I don't care for the languages, I don't care for nothing. This is simple for doing creative science. If one thing works, try something similar and examine the result. This combination means that H is displaced in one direction, C is displaced in the opposite direction because of the bond. The two atoms cannot move completely apart, so the small displacement of the atom from equilibrium is the beginning of a rotation about the z-axis. Right. Yes. Okay, so you can rotational corners corresponding to rotational degrees of freedom. Okay, so you have moments and then this. Because I just like being able to communicate with people. That's neat. I myself am terrible at learning languages. Absolutely horrible. English is the best I can do. The remaining combination corresponds to the atoms moving towards each other on the x-axis. Beginning of vibration, the oscillation of the atoms back. Okay, so this is alright. Makes sense. Makes sense. Right. In a particular vibrational normal mode, the atoms move about their equilibrium positions in a sinusoidal fashion with the same frequency. Each atom reaches the position of maximum displacement at the same time, but direction of the displacement may differ for different atom. Okay. Atoms are moving, their relationships among relative positions of the different atoms do not change. Okay, the third one I'm struggling with a bit. The center of mass of the molecule does not move. That also lovely makes sense. The center of mass of the molecules does not move. Simple. Although the atoms are moving, the relationships among the relative positions of the different atoms do not change. Oh, so like relative positions have to. So if you have a hold on, because it's relationships among the relative positions, which means does that mean if you have 3 atoms like this with a 1 unit distance, 2 unit distance, then does that mean that when they go vibrate, they go like this? Or does that mean they go like this? Can trying to learn colloquial Latin American Spanish and Arabic since my area has many immigrants who speak those languages. That is impressive. Learning languages is really impressive to me. As I mentioned, I suck at it. The first property mathematically means this. Okay, that makes sense. It's a sine wave. Fourth property, where's the... Oh, wait, whoops. Which means we need... Oh, what do we need now? Miss, cause they're an idiot. We need make it to 10 rounds. I'm actually gonna be animating a make it for absolutely no reason. This is fun. Okay, here's my idea. We take the ball. Alt X. Beautiful. Then the position we'd like our make it to be in would be something like this. How do people score hoops? How do you play basketball? I mean, this is really close as well. It's gonna be comical, but whatever. I can manage. I'm certain. How do basketball players do it? Like, up. Imagine tilt a bit forward, head up, and then you like this, like Spider-Man. I think it's this, right? The form is gonna be atrocious, but it's a silly 3D animation about science, right? Although I do know that the overlap between a basketball player's population and quantum mechanic slash physicist population is surprisingly large. I hope that not too many people will be upset. Now, if I just play it right now, it's gonna look terrible. Exactly. But that's precisely what the fixes will be for. So we're gonna go to pose mode and we're going to change it up a bit. I believe the legs should move in 2 motions. Yeah, so let's have the hand go like this. Wait, no. This, and this. No. No. How am I gonna... I imagine this should be fine with moving like this. It's just that the other one... We're going to copy this, paste it right here. And then as soon as this one... right here. This seems fine. Why am I focusing so much on the end? It's so irrelevant. So utterly irrelevant. At the same time, looks really good and is very impressive. Okay. Make it, what's your opinion on TypeScript? I think it possibly might be the worst language in existence. That's my opinion on TypeScript. If I don't put any thought to it, then I feel comfortable saying it's the worst language in existence. Maybe if I thought about it some more, I could find something that's even worse, but off the top of my head, yeah. So you know, nothing too major. To me, TypeScript feels like what would happen if, well, what did happen after some people looked at JavaScript and then wanted to make all of the parts that make JavaScript bad even worse. Yeah. Okay. For the violation, there's a bunch of displacement and positive direction. Okay. So this, I don't quite understand what this means. Notepad. No, that was what we were doing back in the no. First of all, chapter 6.1, list of 4 properties. Yeah, that's going to be the first one. Then later on we go. This is needed for the quantum description. It begins with replacing classical energy with Hamiltonian operator of the Schrödinger equation. It is increasing to compare the contrast classical to quantum mechanical picture. Okay, so motion of 2 particles in space can be separated into translational, vibrational, and rotational motions. Makes sense. That's all pretty self-explanatory. Oh, so our vibrational state is just like how much they vibrate. I think I understand. If I'm correct, then this is really simple. If I'm incorrect, then I might struggle. Okay. To obtain classical description of how the atomic molecule vibrates, this equation, the mass m, is reduced the mass of the molecule. The acceleration is obviously in the force of the possible. Okay. Oh, there's one more thing that we need. Oh, I just remembered. We need the definition of. Hold on, anti-bonding orbital is supposed to be the easiest way to find it. Yeah, this would be the easiest way to find what I'm talking about. Anti-bonding orbital, two atoms raise the energy molecule. Yeah, because it wasn't chargeable. What was the name of it? Group is any two electrons molecule having the same set of quantum numbers for each atomic as split into two molecular orbital. Oh, Pauli exclusion principle would be a lovely thing. Let me actually ask Remco. Remco, how much do you know about the Pauli exclusion principle? There we go. How convenient it is to have just experts around me. So instead of thinking, I can just ask them, oh, how convenient. So therefore... I'm mostly interested in why it happens. The orbital which is in lower energy state, there's nothing but the orbital which is more stable. High energy orbital is antibody molecule. Let's say, well, okay, but what is the actual difference? Because I know, like. I remember this, and that's basically if you have both of them in the same phase, was it? Was it phase? It might have been phase, but I'm not quite certain. No bonding interaction at all. When the molecular orbital changes spin, protective, and no parent between two atoms, and by the respective atoms, and asterisk on molecular. Okay, so this is when the molecular orbital changes spin. Okay, so this is different spins. Also, I believe Remco's asleep right now. They did not get a lot of sleep in the past couple of days. Oh, kinky. I mean, good for you, I suppose. Okay, so anti-bonding orbital then, it's because of change of spin. No time between the replacement electrons that spend most of the time. So increasing electrons because of the two. Electron density between the nuclear bonding orbitals and the electron density in another orbital, placing an electron in the bonding orbital stabilizes the molecule. Simple, yes. This is like elementary school stuff. However, concentrating an electron will decrease the molecule. Yes, but what is the difference? What do you mean good for time? And how does Remco not getting sleep be good for time? And I'll explain it to you when you're older. Okay, so nothing. Sweet. Why is it so hard to find? I didn't know that. No. I stand by what I said. I have a situation where the electrons are held away from their atoms' repulsion and attraction. But why? Oh, there we go. Next question is why. Thank you so much for answering. I see I didn't need to yell, but still, it was a very emotional state for me. So I'm glad that you answered my question. Why does the antibonding? You might wonder, why do you have a consensus situation negative? Well, as synchronous electrons to occupy antibonding states for a brief period of time without the molecule being destroyed. Yes, but what is the antibonding state? A neutron may have the same exact quantum number, yeah, Pauli exclusion principle, we've been there. But quantum numbers, yes. Called orbitals are actually three-dimensional shapes where there is a... It's really nice to read something that overlaps. It's really nice to read something as a source that overlaps with my understanding of a topic, because the exact point of this video is to explain the mathematics in terms of shapes, basically. You know. What genres of music does everyone here enjoy? I'm gonna leave that question for everyone in the chat and will not answer, because my answer is very dull. Election being found, yes. The lowest energy orbitals are for the first. Once again, that's pretty simple, reasonable. Okay, you know what? I take it back. Me yelling was a very reasonable reaction, because that did not in fact answer my question. Why can't I press reject all? Fine, I'll delete you myself. Oh, now you won't let me scroll, will ya? Ah, whatever, I'm just gonna look for another website, it's easier. Homo and Lumo, yes! Please! No, wait, Homo and Lumo might not help me. Not what I'm looking for why. Okay, let me go back to Wikipedia. Wikipedia is a phenomenal source for this sort of things, because it's an absolutely phenomenal source for these sort of things, because it goes in depth, which I like. Never mind, it didn't go. You mean to tell me become smaller, they begin to overlap? Yes. Each original atomic orbital of the isolated atoms splits into two molecular orbitals belonging to the pair. One low energy, one of the orbital which is low energy state, and the orbital separate atoms. Bonding orbital. More stable and promotes the the higher energy orbital is the anti-bonding orbital, which is less stable and separate. Yeah, I know, elementary school stuff. All of this is elementary school stuff, not what I'm looking for. In a molecule such as hydrogen, the two electrons normally occupy the low energy orbitals. Yes, I know. There's less electron density between the two. But why? So it's when it changes spin. No, that doesn't make any sense. I'm making funny theme song videos for various people like Maiden, Bav and Remco. You want one? What kind of theme song videos? Hi there, Vishek, by the way, just joined. What are you up to with these orbitals? I am looking for the reason why anti-bonding orbitals exist at the moment. Alright, Timon, alright. I should be available. Molecules. The anti-bonding orbitals have no place passing through two nuclei. Yes. Okay. None of this is answering my question. Since the anti-bonding orbital is more anti-bonding than the bonding orbital is bonding, that is... Mwah! 10 out of 10 sentence. Beautiful sentence. Make it. Suleiman is back on the internet, but is sticking to close friends and no big online communities for now. And she's made new accounts, so this is sort of mine now. I mean, like, it's been yours for quite a while, I'd say. Okay. None of this answered my question. Bonding, anti-bonding overdose. Okay, come on. I'm pinging with them in basic. I can't really. Well, I mean, I suppose I can't. Why in the basic chat? That is just a clip of Timon's drawing with All Day Fears You playing in the background. You got the quantum mechanics. You get destructive interference in anti-bonding between nuclei creates a node. I mean, okay, Abhishek, I can. Here's what I know about the. As far as I'm aware, when it comes to anti-bonding overdose, what happens is that when there are two electrons that are coming to a bond, you have each of their wave functions, and the probability of electron being anywhere is obviously the it's squared. And then absolute value. Wait, no, it was absolute value of the sum, correct? Yeah, that makes sense. It was absolute value of, I don't know, lambda for some kind of operator combines them. I don't care at the moment. I'm just trying to explain what I know. And so this is what happens. And so when they are in phase, they both have the same sign. Then the total combination of the two wave functions will just cause them to combine like so. However, if they have opposite signs, then the act of operating them together first will cause them to have different signs, which with you, when you then take the absolute value of, you end up with this, which is the spike in the middle. However, that is what I know. However, I'm trying to confirm whenever I'm wrong or right. And for the life of me, I cannot find it. I don't know why. Oh wait, hold on. I was talking over a textbook which appears to answer that question. For atomic orbitals created via linear combination of atomic orbitals, the approximation were created from the sum and the difference between atomic orbitals, which approximately the jth molecular orbital can be expressed as a linear combination of the atomic orbitals. Okay, yes! So far, yes. Wave functions cancel out antibonding, which creates nodes. I know that. And I'm trying to figure out why. A molecule will have as many molecular orbitals as there are atomic orbitals using the basic set. Yes. I don't mind to make my music quiet. I'm having a hard time focusing. There we go. A molecule will have as many molecular orbitals as there are atomic orbitals. It's a set. Adding two atomic orbitals corresponds to the constructing interference between two waves. That's reinforcing the density. So it is phase. It is phase. Good. Yes. Bonding of density node I'm looking for is. Also, I'm so sorry, Abhishek, by the way, for being so aggressive. That's just. I need to stay in character for me fighting, wrangling with a bunch of silly text on the internet. In the sigma orbital, the electron density on the internuclear is between the nuclear symmetrical symmetry. That is cross section for the. Yes. Oh, I can also explain why they can spin. Okay, that we can do that later. And like proper spin, not whatever electron spin is, which no one knows. Other from molecular orbital. Okay. Subtracting one atomic orbital from another corresponds to destructive interference. Yes, but why are you subtracting? There's no answer to my questions anyway. An interference between two waves which reduces their intensity causes a decrease in. Okay. This is so close to answering my question. So close. Electron nuclear resulting interaction is possible between nuclei. Only yes, things are interactive. Okay, this is so close to answering a question. electrons are generally found in the space outside the nuclear region. This allows the positively charged nuclei to repel one another anti-bonding. Okay, this makes sense. I found your channel a few days ago and I love your channel Omega. I'm glad you like it! I'm glad you like it! Oh, by the way, hold on, the animation finished rendering. Yeah. Right, so we need to make it shoot the shot. So let's Alt P, and then let's have it go. I'm thinking how should I make the shot like semi-realistic? Because we want some kind of bounce. How to make a realistic shot? You can always ask ChatGPT. If it doesn't answer, just ask ChatGPT. Yes, but how will I know that what ChatGPT said is correct? Let's have the basketball go right here. Now what we need is we need to figure out some kind of way. Tell ChatGPT not to lie. I didn't think of that. Wait, no, this has to be further back. There we go. There has to be some kind of simpler way to make the basketball animation. Because manually animating it, that's idiotic. I could always do a physics sim. Physics sim feels a bit silly. Feels a bit silly. Because in order to do a physics sim, what we need to do is we need to... Oh, wow. Can I lower this to like a... Yeah. Physics sim, yeah, fine. Rigid body, I believe. Convex hull should be... Well, sphere should be even better. No. Animated? No, animated has to be selected as on. Yes, and then bake it, I suppose. Uh, 3090 to 1450. I always forget where the baking is. Rigid, okay, right here. Oh, that's the difference, right. That is incorrect. That's not what I want to happen, although it is close, so... Let's bake again. Okay, that's also pretty good. Also pretty good. Come on, just a bit closer. That's too close. Your streams are confusing. I know. They are not for the weak. Oh, this is good. This is really good. Because now what we need to do is go right here. Collision. I think just collision, right? I'm pretty certain. Nope, not just collision. It was the rigid body, wasn't it? I don't remember what collision does. Because it clearly didn't collide. Rigid body, not dynamic. Rigid body, not dynamic. I hope this will do it. I feel like this might have been a bit too big. Or the convex hull. Let's try the mesh. And this one is planar. Or box. Should be fine as well. Okay, why are you like this? There was a way to increase precision, wasn't there? Sensitivity, margin. No, it was... Oh my goodness. I think most subsets want to fix this. We tried to solve the understanding a social equation to prove shapes of orbitals. So that's cool. That's really neat. Would you happen to know why the antibonding in the antibonding orbital two wave functions cancel each other out and you subtract them instead of adding? Why is this so inaccurate? Question. Right here, it just disappears. Oh my goodness! Box is a perfect. Oh right, I thought it was a. Okay, shush. Convex hull. Why wouldn't convex hull work in here? Click again. Convex hull is also wacky. Is there really no planar setting or anything? Because what I can do is I can just do floor collision and then just have it extruded down like this. Won't be visible, but it will be just simply for the sake of collision. And then you can be a box, I think. Can you? There isn't even a bake. What are you moving for? Now, let's try it yet again. Okay, that's on me. I forgot to set you as non-dynamic. Now this one is not me. This one just doesn't work. Oh, shush. There was a way, I do remember there being a way to set something as planar. Do I really need to just mesh? I can do mesh. It's gonna be, technically it's inefficient, but in practice, who cares? No, even the, what's wrong with you? Mainly to maintain symmetry of the system when the triangles will push both bonding and unbonding, like one is in phase and the other one is opposite phase. Okay, so symmetry of the system when you superposition both bonding and anti-bonding. Organic chemistry major on my first master's and biotech on my second master's. Oh, that's really cool. You have 2 master's degrees, and none of them in organic. That's really impressive. Maintaining symmetry of the system when you superposition both bonding and anti-bonding. Which symmetry? One is in phase, one is opposite. Okay. So it is that. So it is just like in difference of ways, they are in opposite phase. And the reason why they're in opposite phase is to preserve the symmetry when you superposition both bonding and anti-bonding. Okay, I'm with you so far. Which symmetry? Also, why isn't this working as well? Can I extrude it down without breaking the material? It would appear I can, I think. I'm okay. I'm at peace. I'm at peace. I'm not gonna get upset. I'm fine. I'm okay. I will maintain my sanity throughout this process. Oh wait, passive. That also helps, doesn't it? Why did this work all of a sudden? Now it works. Okay, good. I mean, I'm glad it works. I don't know why. Whatever. Bounciness, add this, bad boy. This is a basketball after all. Even though it won't be visible. Okay. Up this even higher, 90. And I'm guessing that the floor also needs to be more bouncy in order for it to work. I was correct, as I always am. Now right here we also want to increase the bounciness and make beautiful. And I'm jobless. Oh god, biotech degree from the USA. I mean, it's, just because it's from the US doesn't mean it's bad. Like usually degrees are recognized internationally, aren't they? I do believe they fairly are. Mr. did a good job dropping out of high school. I mean, Chakul, the kinds of jobs that you will be looking for will be different from the jobs that Abhishek is looking for, because Abhishek will be probably building biotech shit, which is significantly cooler. Maybe jobless right now, but when Abhishek gets a job, it's gonna be a sick ass job. Okay. We'll have the brightness of the basketball dip at the end. Nope, that's the wrong one. This is the right one. There we go. Oh, I didn't even animate the make. Oh yeah, right, because we want to do a physics sim first. Current job market fuck depends where you live. Abhishek, you can always move to Europe. I'm just saying. Would recommend. As a personal professional European, I would recommend moving to Europe. It's great. Okay, so I do believe that when it comes to the shots, the way it happens is this, like this, and then like this. Then forward, up, down, like this. The hands are just frozen in place. Like when you solve linear equations, you deal with Hamiltonian operators. Basically, when you are dealing with two the same atoms, they are the same. They are symmetrically aligned. So then, oh, so like geometric symmetry, not physical symmetry. Oh, I misunderstood then. Potential felt by the electron is same whether plus x or minus x. Remco's awake and not even whatever. Wait, hold on, yeah, I was supposed to fix the hands. Why am I focusing on this so much? It's such an irrelevant animation. This. So dumb. That's so dumb. Such an irrational. No, hell no. I was getting 90k, so I was heading to India. Give me $2,000 a year? That's even less than I make. Yeah, my person is getting walking R&D, got paid less than the guy whose job was literally just washing glassware. What the fuck? Mickey, what do you feel of the whole Grok saying that Elon making him an AI waifu? Oh no! What the fuck? Not my area of expertise, I will not get into it. Well, hold on, right here. While I'm at it, I might as well take out the... There we go. Okay. I've just sorry, don't want to miss anything. It's fine, it's fine. I get it. What's the point of getting a master's if they're gonna pay you so low? I agree. Like, what's the point of exercising or cleaning or all of these things? You don't earn money by doing that, you know? I don't get it. What's the point of having a relationship with people? They don't give you money. What's the point of having friends? Ridiculous. Like, don't get me wrong, it's upsetting that an R&D job would pay $2,000 a year. Because that's less than I make, and I make dog shit. But from what I've heard from people with masters, it's mostly not really about the money. It's about sending the message back, man. My inner Reblax just broke through. Like, don't want to pay a lot. Plus, people around me, the teachers course you. She's, some of my classmates did PhD without a stipend. I might need Flame to join in. Oh, this Flame is busy. Is Flame busy? So, what else? What do I need? I need this. I also had one additional. Oh yeah, rotation of molecules. Right. Capitalization will be a neat one as well. We just need to write the quantum mechanics part. Okay, but first, let's finish the probability. Well, I mean, no, we should also write down parallel probably. I'm sorry, I just got distracted for a second. Right, what are we doing? Oh yeah, script writing, because this is still... This looks so dumb. Also, it's a bit dark. We might want to up the brightness a bit, somehow. Yeah, it might be a bit dark for the video. Although I could play to my advantage because I don't have to animate quite as much, which is convenient. Next bit is quantum mechanics. That means... Here I'm just gonna play... Flame! Oh! Hi, Flame! Flame, I have a question. Just a quick one, light one. Like, what does make the wave functions in the anti-bonding orbital negate themselves? Like, why are they out of phase? Why do the wave functions, the bonding orbital, have the same phase, but the hi, the Flame. Hi. Why did the...
So,
Yep.
what's your question?
Well, like, when you have the bonding orbital, the wave functions are in phase. When you have the anti-bonding one, they're out of phase. But what causes them to be out of phase?
Ooh.
Oh, that is not a... Let me tell you for the start, that's not a hopeful response.
No, it's like, it's the kind of thing where it was explained to me 4 years ago, but like, I don't know if I remember the answer.
The classical
check my-
grade make it question, where the thing that no one bothers to... Like, it's not necessary at all to know.
Well, no, the thing with this stuff is you learn it in layers, and at a certain point, when you've been working at higher layers, you start to just take the lower things to be true. And
Yeah,
you
exactly.
forget the explanations.
Yeah, the classical
so,
make
yeah.
it question where you don't need to know why something happens, so no one
Yeah.
bothers to keep mentioning because, well, there isn't. I'm not being sarcastic or anything. There genuinely isn't much of a point. I get that, but then make it
I mean,
comes
I
along.
think the point is they have a phase, and are you asking where the phase comes from?
I'm asking why, because why the anti-bonding is different from the bonding one, basically. Because, like, if
Okay.
from the point,
I mean, I think it's because it can have either phase, and so it means both exist, both like
yeah,
combinations exist.
but then if they both can have different phases, right? And then there's the in phase and the out of phase. Then is it the Pauli exclusion principle, where basically if you have 4 of them, then you need them to... Is there some kind of underlying quantum number?
You mean why does it even make anti-bonding orbitals? Like why?
Yeah, that's basically...
if the bonding ones are lower energy.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, basically, like the question. Oh, let me maybe specify it even more small. So basically, like, when 4 electrons come together, like helium, right? Then why would... hold on, I'm putting a lot of my brain power into formulating a proper question. It's surprisingly difficult. When, like in helium, for example, why wouldn't 4 electrons come together and create 2 bonding orbitals? Like, what causes...
Oh, okay, I remember there was it was very explicitly told to us that the number of orbitals you put in is the number of orbitals you get out.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense from the... I don't know why, actually, but it tracks with the rule of both spins, right? 2 spins per orbital. That would...
I
oh
don't know
no,
if it's
wait!
part
Oh
of the
no,
principle.
it's not because... I mean...
No, because you can have unoccupied orbitals.
Right. Yeah, that's why. Okay, never mind, that was... Yeah.
Give me a sec. I'm just like scrolling through the first year lecture slides.
Symmetry. But what kind of symmetry, Abhishek? That's what trips me.
It probably just comes from some maths.
Well, I mean...
It's probably just like, oh, the maths just says that you can't, like, you need to conserve the number of orbitals.
POV, you ask a chemist about quantum mechanics.
Yeah, I mean, it all just comes from maths.
The mathematicians say so.
Okay, so are you asking where the phases come from
By the way,
Why
the
you get negative? What?
I mean, Abhishek is, by the way, has masters in was it organic chemistry and biotech? I'm not mistaken.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and they did try to answer the question for me, but I got stuck on the symmetry bit. Hold on, let me find it. Now where's mainly to maintain symmetry of the system when you superposition both bonding and anti-bonding, like one is in phase and the other is the opposite phase. Yes, that is the.
Yeah.
But I don't know what symmetry.
I'm not sure. Looking through my slides.
I'm glad you're postmasters because now I don't feel quite as bad for asking random bullshit questions. That's nice.
Yeah, I've got the whole summer off. I mean, I had been off for a month anyway. I just had to go back up for graduation yesterday.
Master flame. It's so silly that it's just master of chemistry. I will never get over that. Never. Yeah, but not gonna lie, if I enjoy I don't care about making a lot of money, just enough to do what I wanna. Exactly, Abhishek. I respect that mindset so much because I subscribe to that mindset myself.
Has Abhishek said what they're doing now?
Uh,
Or like recently graduated?
well, they did mention an R&D job, but I do believe they declined it because it was in India and they would get paid less than me. Yeah, apparently they just declined the job, R&D job in India.
Okay.
I think. Add your special catchphrase to the script. My special catchphrase. Yeah, when I say it's making time and then I make. This is, I mean, okay, you know what? That's actually. I say that's a bit, but I mean, that's kind of what I do nowadays, isn't it? I just start the stream every day. I say it's making time, and I just make stuff.
Just made it all over the place.
All answers to Schrodinger's equations answers like, let's see if we get out the answer for bonding. Right.
I mean, your question is why do you get the same number of orbitals out as you put in, right?
Well, and why do these orbitals have to be different as well? Because if you have helium, then you can't have two bonding orbitals. You need to have a bonding and anti-bonding.
Well, that's because there are two possible phases.
Well, yeah,
the
there are two
starting orbitals can be. So there are two combinations of those.
Yeah, well, this is why I guess the Pauli exclusion principle, because like the reason why you can't have multiple orbitals in an I don't know, hydrogen atom with 4 electrons, because why not? Like you can't have just 4 electrons on you can't have 2 electrons on one S.
I think it's
and
just conservation of energy actually. That like the total energy of all the orbitals you get out needs to be the same as what you put in.
Oh, that also makes sense.
Because obviously the antibonding goes higher in energy, the bonding goes lower in energy, and if you had to, if all your electrons are filled, all your orbitals are filled with electrons, then it means that when you combine them, you could make a bonding and antibonding, but they would be fully occupied, and so the energy overall would be the same as if they weren't bonded.
Okay, but that doesn't answer too well because okay, 2 things. First of all, Abhishek, it should also have an antibonding, should have an orthogonal opposite one, aka antibonding. Yes, Abhishek, but my question is, why should it have no orthogonal opposite one? That's the entire question. Like, I understand the concept of an antibonding orbital. I just don't. I'm just trying to find the answer for why it exists, right? Well, not why it exists, only why it actually happens in reality. So that's what confused me. And flame, when it comes to the conservation of energy, right? When you have two helium atoms, I almost drew helium and whatever. Two helium. Hold on, should I give you a stream on Discord if there's delay?
Yeah.
No. I just shared screen of Discord itself. That I'm so clever. There we go. Right, so when you have two helium atoms, right? Then, like, one solution to the energy would be for them to have a bonding and anti-bonding. But what if, wouldn't another solution to the problem of conservation of energy be just two orbitals coming together to create two bonding orbitals and then just emitting excess energy as a photon? Or two photons? Wouldn't that also conserve the energy?
I mean, you could say this of any process. You could say, why does it conserve energy? Couldn't it just...
Well, I mean, no, because
photon?
because I mean, the bottom one also conserves energy, doesn't it? It's just in a different way.
Well, yeah, but I don't think there's a reason for it to emit a photon.
Well, to be fair, I don't know.
Like, you could say this of anything, can't you?
Well, I mean, yeah, but it does happen, right? So I don't know when it goes to heat, for example, right? When hot stuff glows a lot, then
I just saw something really funny. Let me send this to you. I was scrolling through the slides.
There's another cat climbing the door. Can I show this on stream?
Yeah. This is how you can tell it's for first years.
Oh, the crops also. Let me get my notes. I remember trying to get answers in the human space. I don't remember anything more. Give me a bit. I like how I always find the surgical precision. With surgical precision, I find the exact right question. That is simple enough.
Well, it's not. You
like,
just start asking, like the answer becomes a physics answer.
Yeah, exactly.
And,
I'm like.
I'm not a physicist.
It's in this perfect narrow space where chemists don't care about it because it's not necessary, and physicists don't care about it because it's too chemical, and it's just in a perfect narrow place when no one actually cares about it. Other than me, because I want to make a silly video of Make It just throwing basketballs into a hoop. I've got like 2 chemists right now with a combined total of 3 master's degrees looking up answers for my silly YouTube video. This is... In one of his videos, he said he started earning more than Polish minimum wage. That was in the past. It dropped again. Scientists are so rude to mathematicians. Like, I heard one scientist catcall me once and say in this active tone, "Can I look at the equations, if you know what I mean? We truly are the oppressed minority." I can make it as a question too deep to you need someone to go. It is not that the question is too deep, it's just that it's irrelevant to almost all of chemistry. Like, you know, when you're a car mechanic, right? Then you don't need to know what's the metallic bond of the alloy the engines are made out of, you know? I guess it's not something you actually care about. I just have a way of asking very wacky questions about me. I'm gonna go back to just animating because I couldn't find it for like an hour, and I don't feel like I have any chances of finding an answer better than you and Abhishek, so I'm just gonna...
I mean, I found a slide that just, as a bullet point, it says the number of molecular orbitals formed is equal to the number of combining atomic orbitals. And it's cited a 1932 source, so I'm trying to... trying to find that. Surely Sci-Hub.
Cutting edge research. I like the fact that I slip into these popular science videos that are talking about the cutting edge research, all the new things that people are excited about.
I found the source, but it's 23 pages.
Linear combination of atomic orbitals. Oh my goodness. That's exactly why I'm unemployed right now. I'm not gonna lie, I told my friends about what the Boltzmann constant actually means. Must have I thought I never thought of. Thermodynamics, oh no. Why would you ever think about thermodynamics on your own? People wouldn't. There isn't an amount of money people could pay me to think about thermodynamics. Okay, so somewhere in those 23 pages.
Maybe. It might not even give the answer.
I think I found something, though. Linear combination of atomic orbitals, because this is this could have the answer. Combining atomic orbitals into molecular orbitals. Imagine using LibraText instead of paying $250 for a chemistry book. Probably universities only have several $1 billion and have to build 14th library on campus. For shame, make it. Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be because it was like wave, which means that naturally there could be constructive bonding and destructive antibonding inference? No, I'm answering your question. Not really, because I know why anti-bonding orbital exists. However, there is something forcing the electrons to go both to the bonding orbital and anti-bonding one. So, unholy thinkable.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, in helium, you can never have two bonding orbitals. It's not it's implausible, it's impossible. Which means there is something that must be forcing electrons to go to both of them. And what's more in this, well, the strict rules, that's pretty simple energy. But once they form a bonding orbital, the next one has to be anti-bonding, no matter what. And
okay, I understand more what you're asking.
Yes. So unholy thinkable, imagine it this way. Imagine if you have lasers. Let's go with lasers. Flame. In the name of flame. You have lasers. Right?
I won't be using lasers in my PhD.
I know, that's why it's in the name of flame.
Using 10 Tesla magnet.
The threats you can make online. Mods add 1 electron to every atom in this guy's body. So, unholy thinkable. Imagine it this way. You have 4 lasers, right? You're in a room. the way bonding and anti-bonding orbitals work is kind of like if you turn on two lasers, point them at each other, then the light in the middle will be double of a single laser, right? That will be the light intensity. However, if you turn on 4 lasers, then the light of the brightness in between these 2 lasers would have to be always 0 or something like that. And so, so that would be kind of analogous to, you know, constructive interference right here when the waves. I know that geometry doesn't make sense. Bear with me, it's an analogy. This would be analogous to the constructive interference right here, which means each peak would be twice as high, and right here destructive, which means it will be flat. However, the question I am asking is, why do you always get a 0 after turning the 3rd and 4th laser on? Why can't you get 2L and then 2L as well? Why do you always get 2L and then 0? The first 2L, that makes sense, that's simple, because lower energy. That explains it. However, because there is lower energy, there has to be something forcing them to go higher instead of doing something else, like, I don't know, emitting electrons or turning into vibrational energy, whatever. It's a mathematical consequence of combining fixed number of atomic orbitals, basis functions, to produce an equal number of new molecular orbitals, preserving the total degrees of freedom for electron distribution within the molecule. Degrees of freedom in what? Mathematical consequence of combining fixed number of atomic orbitals, basis functions, to produce an equal number of new molecular orbitals. That doesn't really answer anything. Like, that... Yes, I know it's a mathematical consequence. If it wasn't, then it wouldn't be a thing. That is a very nothing bag of an answer. Because we already know that it produces an equal number of new molecular orbitals. The question isn't why, the question is why do they have to be a bonding and anti-bonding?
I don't think you can have 2 bonding orbitals because you end up with the same, what's it called? You end up with the same wave function, and you can't get
So wait,
2 orbitals with
but
the
then-
same wave function.
but then again, wouldn't that be the Pauli exclusion principle?
I don't know if it is.
Because
I think it's just a quantum mechanics thing.
I mean, yeah, because Pauli exclusion is
But
the one
I'm
that
pretty sure you just can't get 2 wave functions for that are the same for 2 different orbitals.
I mean, yeah, that would make sense because then that would be the Pauli exclusion because you know,
yeah, then that
identical particles with half integer spin cannot simultaneously occupy the same quantum state.
yeah.
Now all I need to do is just confirm it. That should be easy. But then, are the bonding orbitals dependent on, like, are they fully described by quantum numbers? Wolfgang Pauli is such a hottie. Meaning that all possible pairs, the newly formed hybrid orbitals must have a 0 overlap in total. So does that mean what I think it means in second of all? Why? I got notes and stuff. Where do I share? I have a Discord server over there. Do be careful, it's a bit it gets a bit chaotic at times. So
Put it in the chemistry channel.
but the chemistry channel, yeah, it's usually pretty good. Oh, I still haven't disabled the Hold on. I should disable the Banet rule, shouldn't I?
With the spin.
Yeah, the spin.
You could make it like a 1 in 10 chance.
Do you want me to do a 1 in... Maybe let's do
Yeah.
1 in 50.
That makes it a very rare event.
Yeah, it's gonna be rare. 1 in 20. Middle of the road. I love that hot American man's voice, very sexy. I'm guessing you're talking about Flame. I agree. Flame's American voice is...
This is not an American voice.
Okay, there we go. Spin. And how did I do randomness? I already forgot. Okay, now... I just realized that one of my scripts might have not been working. I did see it. Ah, whatever. Give me a few minutes, please. Deduction. It's fine. Don't worry. I'm myself busy. I should have tested it before I. Oh, whatever. Spin. Yay! There we go. Fixed. Should be 120. Unless I messed it up, in which case, I don't know. Bandit might start spamming. We'll see. There, you're welcome, lesbian bender. What's going on here? Okay.
I think it is Pauli, because you do get quantum numbers to describe molecular orbitals.
Did I?
I've just never heard it, but it's not to do with the electron though. It's just to do with like you actually just can't get the orbitals because an orbital doesn't need to be occupied to arise.
Wait, what does that mean? Does it? What? It does it not really?
I mean, when say when two hydrogens bond,
Yeah.
you still kind of act as if the antibonding orbital is there. It's just not occupied. But like an electron can go to it and fill it.
I mean, okay, that makes it, but like, like, okay, I understand that, but it does feel insane because that's kind of like. That's kind of like having an empty shelf and saying, "Oh no, that shelf is still full. It's full of nothing."
Well, okay, yeah, but no, it's not. It's not full. Like it's not occupied. It's a level you can go to, and it's the same with atomic orbitals, right? Like if you have a hydrogen with one atom,
I mean,
the
yeah, it makes
atom
sense,
is
but
in
like,
the 1s orbital, but you could still, in theory, promote it to like the 2s and so on.
yeah, but the orbital is like the consequence of electrons being there. It's not really anything on its own, is it? So, because I mean,
Yeah.
the orbital is more like a possible state of the electron.
Yeah,
So
that's what I mean. That's what we
Yeah,
mean
okay,
when
yeah,
we say
okay.
that like it's a state you can go
yeah,
to.
in that
that
case,
we
the
go to.
anti-bonding does make sense for it to still be there when it's not occupied, because that's the only other
Yeah.
possible state that the electron
Yeah,
can
yeah.
is. So you know, I'm not gonna lie, I feel really good about guessing.
I'm not sure it is Pauli, but
Pauli, sorry.
just because I've never like heard that. I've never really heard about Pauli for describing just orbitals, because it's usually for describing electrons filling orbitals. But that's because in chemistry it's like we just say these are the orbitals and these are the electrons, and we're ignoring the quantum number that describes the orbital it's in most of the time. It's more like well, you've got an electron here, so the next electron in this orbital can't be the same.
In quantum
I don't know.
mechanics, each state must be linearly independent, and in Hilbert space, this independence results in orthogonality. Right. Okay. You know, make it a smart swag when he asks chemistry questions, even experts struggle to answer. It's not difficult. It's that's
I'm
not
not an expert, by the way.
No,
I'm
no, no,
not
no,
an
no.
expert.
Flame is an expert. Flame very much is an expert. But
Yeah,
asking.
I almost failed the quantum mechanics module.
I almost felt it. No, I'm not really a rocket scientist. You know, I've been working at NASA only for 2 years. But Flame is very much an expert. But asking questions that experts cannot answer is not difficult. That's mainly because I'm asking for a question that is like most of the question goes outside the field that Flame specializes in. That's the main reason. That's like if I asked, like, I don't know, it's pretty easy. Allow me to demonstrate. Flame, why did the cave bears evolved into black bears? Why haven't they given up the gigantism role, you know?
I mean, it's simply because of environmental factors.
Yeah, but my point is, it's really easy to ask a question and an expert cannot answer if you ask about something they're...
I think when they said that, they implied a question in an area they're an expert in.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not...
And so I'm saying I'm not an expert in that.
Yeah, oh, that's what you meant, yeah.
But I'm also not an expert in anything, because I feel like to be an expert in something, you can answer any question someone asks you about that thing.
I don't think that is... I don't like that definition, because, like, Einstein wouldn't be an expert then, wouldn't it? That's, like...
I feel like if you asked Einstein about any of his papers, he would be able to answer, like, any question you asked.
Yeah, but then if you asked him, is the universe deterministic, with all of our data shows that it is dependent on probability,
Yeah, but that's not
then...
about... I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like you are just experiencing, what's it, imposter syndrome? Where you very much like this is gonna be this is very upsetting actually, because, well, not upsetting, but it's just very funny, because like imposter syndrome is what happens when you just gradually transition into a certain role, right? And what I want you to realize, Flame, is that the things you're doing right now, like, there are some people out there.
No, I know a lot more than...
Oh no, that's not what I mean.
Average person,
like, you know when you're reading a paper by some different doctors and stuff like that, right? And then you use that as a source. Yeah. Like, there are some people out there who either right now or soon will be using what you did as a source. And
I mean, yeah.
As such, there isn't actually a divide between you know, there isn't actually a genuine divide between people you use as a source versus yourself right now. I genuinely think it's imposter syndrome, because to me, you are...
I feel like I wouldn't be able to write a book on anything I've done in my degree.
What the fuck kind of bar is that? I haven't won a Nobel Prize yet. I wouldn't come so... No, but I mean, I just feel like you should be.
I feel
ju-
like I will be an expert on certain things when I finish my PhD.
I just think you're too modest and you're making me look bad. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Because I am very much not modest. Why didn't you get yourself an expert in whatever area it falls into? Then hold on, let me reach into my expert cupboard. Let me just real quick. Okay, what we got? Yeah, string theory. Damn it, why do I have so many not theory experts? Who uses that nowadays? It was on a discount, like, you know, buy one get one free. So yeah, geometry algebra. I feel like you're underestimating just how specialized this kind of knowledge would be, because to answer this kind of question, that is quite very specialized, very specific kind of question.
Eh. I feel like a first year would be able to answer it better because they've done it recently.
I keep looking at this website because this website feels like it has the answer. It's just that it goes over my head. My brain isn't registering it. That's what happens. See, you want to prove I'm not smart, then here you have it. I cannot understand basic quantum mechanics.
Oh, they have a 3D. Can you rotate that around?
No,
3D thing?
no, unfortunately not.
Oh,
It looks
so
like,
rotatable.
Yeah. I was about to say it looks rotatable. I think we just got used to it from the was there a really good website with like the functions that shift the face with color. That was a really nice one.
Yeah, I've linked it to you many times. I can't.
I'm gonna use Flame as a source whenever I hear anyone talking about bears. Yes, Flame is our Discord leading bear expert. Any bear questions? Flame's your guy. As long as we understand the regional consensus. Yeah, the only problem is we haven't reached an exact consensus yet. Because I would really like a source that tells me definitely it's a Pauli. It smells very Paulish from the beginning to the end.
Paulish.
It's very Paulish, isn't it? And then you had so many eggs in your cupboard. Still not okay. Yeah, my expert cupboard is really big. Christian Master was pretty specialized, something to do with number theory, and every one of the papers they were either dead or retired. That is what tends to happen when you have a math question. The more mathematics oriented the field is, the shorter the shelf life is on scientists. They just they all end up either dead or retired. What question are you trying to solve? I'm trying to figure out why, or rather, at this one, not even figure out. I'm trying to confirm / see if I'm wrong about if it's the Pauli exclusion principle that causes the electrons to go to the anti-bonding orbital once the bonding orbital is filled. Yeah. No, I need this.
Okay, I think your photon thing doesn't work because the photon and like emitting a photon or absorbing a photon only raises or lowers the energy of the electron. But that doesn't just mean you can make an orbital to put the electron into if you've taken the energy out.
I'm having a lot of because okay, but like in that case, but that feels a bit circular to me. So basically, okay. The reason why it feels circular to me, because
photons will let you move between orbitals that could exist.
No,
and in this case,
no. What I mean,
you can't have two.
No. What I mean is that
potentially existing.
This feels a bit circular to me because like an orbital is like the possible quantum state that electron can be in, right?
Yeah.
So like if the bottom situation was possible, then there would exist an orbital. And if there would exist an orbital, then the bottom situation could be possible. So that's why it feels circular. Like this isn't possible because the electrons cannot be on a second bonding orbital.
Okay,
But
I get what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's not even possible to have two bonding orbitals in this situation. Like it's not.
Yeah, right.
It doesn't arise from the maths.
So that would be Polish.
Well, no, it's about the orbitals, not the electron.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason why orbitals are different orbitals are because of Pauli. Well, no, not because of Pauli, because not because of Pauli, but the reason why, in this very specific narrow case, electrons have to go to different orbitals because of Pauli. Because if Pauli didn't exist, then they could have the same quantum numbers, which would be equivalent to them being on the same orbital.
Yes, but I don't. You would still get the antibonding orbitals being a possible thing to go to.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
yes.
saying without Pauli, all your electrons could sit in the lowest possible orbital.
Yes.
Which is true.
Like I know that
then
this
they're
would
all sitting
always...
in one orbital. You don't have two orbitals in the same energy. You're just saying they all sit in one orbital.
Yeah, right. Yeah, this would be a connected line with like like this.
And so that's a different scenario because you're not arguing about the orbitals there. You're arguing about the electrons, and it's still you still have the bonding and anti-bonding orbitals there. It's just that without Pauli, they will all just sit in the lowest state.
Right.
In the lowest level.
So it is Pauli.
It's not Pauli. No.
No, I mean it is Pauli that causes them to jump to the anti-bonding.
Well, yeah, but I thought you were asking why we even make an anti-bonding orbital. Why?
Well, no. From the very beginning, I knew that. No. I know why we make an anti-bonding orbital. Like,
okay.
So basically, maybe I did in fact not phrase my question properly. Like, my question was basically, why is the top one possible and the bottom one impossible instead of both of them being possible? That was basically my question. Because the entire time I was trying to accent the fact that, once you have two electrons on the bonding orbital, then the next two will always go to the anti-bonding, no matter what. You cannot just have four electrons, and this I do believe tracks the...
But it sounded like you were arguing in favor of another bonding orbital.
Yeah, then in that case, I'm sorry, that's on me.
Okay. I thought you were asking why we couldn't have another bonding orbital. That was what I thought the question was. But if it's just why don't they all go to the bonding one, then it is just Pauli.
Yeah, because in this case, if there was another bonding orbital, then it would be the same orbital as the first bonding orbital, so it would just be a single orbital.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like So basically, if I have a shape that's a square with a side length 5 and another square that with a side length 5, then they're both the same shape. So it's not like saying that I have a square an A square shape and a B square shape. I only have two squares, both the same shape. So they would be the same orbital.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so now only to go down the rabbit hole some more and figure out why Pauli principle is a thing. It never ends.
That's a very physics.
Yeah, I pinged Remco actually about this a while ago.
I don't think I've ever found out why Pauli is a thing.
Neither have I, which is weird because it pops up a lot. For Remco,
I mean, yeah, that's like all of chemistry. Yeah. If Pauli wasn't a thing, then nothing would work.
Because I mean, congrats, you would have basically every single atom which is a hydrogen ion isotope. Hydrogen isotope ion. Wait, you can have isotope ions. That thought never crossed my mind. Can you?
What do you mean isotope ions?
Like, can you just have an atom that's an ion of an isotope? So,
Yeah.
oh, okay. I mean, I figured such, but the thought of isotope ions never crossed my mind. I've just never encountered one in my entire life.
No, but isotope is just
Yeah, different.
like everything. Every element is an isotope.
You know what I mean. I'm not a chemist.
No, but do you mean when you say isotope? Do you mean different isotopes from the most common one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just that I've never.
But then you have stuff like what is it? Bromine has. Is it bromine or chlorine? Chlorine. Is bromine 50-50?
Like, I know once they get big enough, then the ratio of.
Yeah, no. So bromine has two stable isotopes that are 50-50. Pretty much 50-50 distribution in nature, and so you don't really say. You don't look at any one of them and say this is the bromine. This is like an isotope. They're both isotopes. Like everything is an isotope.
Yeah, okay. In retrospect, that was a very idiotic thing to say. Okay. Right. Yeah. So
No, it wasn't idiotic.
I mean, no. I mean, let's be honest. A bit idiotic. Can you have an isotope ion? Yeah, every single fucking ion is an isotope.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Hey, can you have?
I mean, when you put my words in a mean tone, yeah.
No. I mean, no. I mean, what I said was idiotic. You reacted to it in a very, very patient way, but let's be real. That was a very idiotic thing to say on my part.
Okay.
Hey, can you have... I cannot even come up with a good analogy for this, but yeah. Right, so then... Yeah, it makes sense, because if Pauli wasn't a thing, then every single atom would just be treated as a hydrogen ion. Because all of the electrons would be on the one s.
Yeah, I mean, it also... Pauli isn't just for electrons, right? It's also for, like, any particle.
Yeah, but let's be real. Who cares about all the other ones?
Yeah, electrons are the only one that matters.
Yeah. Everything is electrons.
So sometimes some protons and neutrons can be useful, like in NMR.
Yeah, but I mean, what's
But really, we just use them to look at the electrons.
Why can't I access Discord? Oh, you can't access Discord.
He just joined.
Is it a new account? Because if it's a new account... Yeah, my bot works, I take it back. Sorry, Amashek, I have a bit of a protection against...
You just make a Discord account to
Yes.
join, and your bot denied him?
Yes. That sort of thing will happen,
rude.
but I mean... That's not really rude. No. The bot did its job.
No, that's rude.
Yeah, Bandit is meant to be rude. Bandit is my henchman who does all the dirty work. Bandit is...
Why don't you just put new accounts? You just like let them access one channel, so they think that's all there is. And then you can give them extra permissions if you realize they're not bots or spammers.
I mean, I can if you want. I can just make... But what channel do I give them access to?
You can just make like a
waiting room.
Like it will be like a prison channel. Like they oh, what is it? Like Plato's Cave. Like they think that's all there is.
Prison of Plato's Cave. One or the other.
You can name the channel Plato's Cave, and the joke will go over their heads because they don't realize that they're not seeing the true server because they're in Plato's Cave.
But you know what the reason for the too young rule is, by the way?
The what rule?
The too young rule. Because it's a rule that you get if your account is too young. Well, the reason is for people who do ban avoidance. So they get banned, they just make a new account, they rejoin.
Okay.
So like they will know that there are all the stuff on there are all the things on the server. I know I had an account since years and Discord is
no,
letting me
Abhishek
do
is
so.
in the server.
Yeah, I know. I removed the too young rule right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Abhishek, I removed your too young
It
rule.
doesn't
Now
let me ping
you can access.
Oh, it does.
Abhishek, don't worry.
I pinged in the chemistry channel.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Wait, can they access the chemistry channel? Is that verify only or?
I mean, it let me ping, so.
Nah, yeah, you're probably right. By the way, do you want some kind of specific banned command? Because in the name of Remco, I did the thing where if you say I need a drink, banned will give you a drink. Do you want? Do you want some kind of?
We need to. I saw this really hard image Where is it? I need some. We need to think of a like a prompt or a reason to send this image. Where is it?
Show me the
Give me a
image, I'll
sec.
figure something. The only problem is I still haven't figured out how to send files onto my server. I still haven't figured it out. I really should because it...
Thoughts on this image?
I relate so much. Oh, that goes so hard. Ban it, blast this person. With an exclamation point at the end. You know, when someone says something like, no, fluorescent stuff isn't even cool or whatever, then you can just say, ban it, blast this guy. What's the image?
Yeah.
May I show it? I know where you got it from.
Yeah.
Okay. This is just the...
My girlfriend found it from some random artist on Twitter and sent it to me, and I was like, yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a yell. That is a hard-going image. I really hope that doesn't mean something weird that's going to be...
Maybe don't. Oh, okay.
Okay,
I
no,
looked,
they are safe
there
for
was
work.
some.
Okay.
There were some that are a bit non-stream friendly when I was.
Okay,
I was
all
looking.
of the spoilers are safe for work, but I'm still glad I took it to the other screen just in case. Oh, this is... all of them go hard. I mean, this is...
I think there's more on the Twitter than on the Reddit.
I am biased towards this one because I just relate to the wizard.
Yeah, exactly.
YouTube keeps recommending me this song that is Wizard Disco, I think is what it's called. I can just open up the YouTube page and it's gonna be on my main, so let me just see, what's the name of the song? It is Wizard Disco, there we go, it's on my main, yeah, as I mentioned. And the reason why it keeps recommending me it is because every single time, for days, non-stop, whenever it pops up on my main, I always click on it. So I relate to the wizard. That is such a hard one. Ban it, blast this guy, or ban it, blast this person will cause ban it to send this image.
Ban it and make him luminescent.
I'm trying to figure something like... Ban it, cast
Arrest
ionization!
this guy.
Fluoresce this guy. Alright, wait, what am I... Oh yeah, I'm trying to make it... I'm trying to animate the hardest going image. Don't make it in. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to do the same thing, except I need the ball to make it bowling. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm doing make it bowling.
Make it bowling.
Make it bowling.
Misses the ball.
This is this would be a banger gift as well. This will just takes make it bowling, and the ball goes off the group every single time. Make it bowling.
Real. It's a massive hoop as well.
It's a comically large hoop, yeah. You know how difficult it was to get the ball to bounce off the rim instead of going in? It took me like solid 10 minutes just to sit up in the way so that the ball wouldn't go in. I am spending so much effort on this video. Do you know why I'm making this video? Did I mention it to you why I'm making?
Because you weren't happy with the other chemistry one?
Well, I mean, no, that is my motivation for every single chemistry video I make. It's an endless cycle. I make a chemistry video, I think it sucks, so I make a new one. It's an abusive relationship I have with chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like chemistry? Oh, messy. What a perfectly timed question you just asked. I am stuck in an abusive relationship with chemistry, personally. But the reason why I'm making it is because Jessie died. And I am unable to prototype my mask anymore. So I'm just making a new video. What's more, I know this one's gonna pop because its title will be From Addition to Bonds. And like the thumbnail will be, you know, first addition, then it's going to be quantum mechanics, and then it's going to be chemistry. And so I know this video is going to pop off. I'm just short on funds.
Shouldn't it be from quantum mechanics to bonds? Because you've already done addition to quantum mechanics.
Well, it could be, but it's not meant to be a sequel to the series. It's just meant to be an objectively better video.
Okay.
And so I'm like doing stuff like this, you know, building up to thinking of functions as shapes and such. It's gonna be neat. I do believe it's gonna build up an understanding pretty well. I was going somewhere with this when I started. I was setting up a joke for some kind of punchline, but I forgot what the punchline is. I don't know, Bazinga, whatever. 450. What did you think of my fluorescence experiments, by the way?
I haven't watched the video yet. I didn't even know you posted a video. It like the algorithm just killed that video. It didn't show up on anything.
What do you mean algorithm killed it? Hold on, let me see. Let me see. Oh, let me.
Look, it's got 800 views. Where did what?
What do you mean algorithm killed it? It has a whole 863 views, Flame. That's algorithm killed it? No. That is.
It didn't. I didn't even know you'd posted a video until I was like looking yesterday, and I was like, "Oh,
You know what?
oh, what's that later?"
You know what? You know what stings so much? In my top
What?
16 videos, I put this as my new number one. I genuinely, this is my favorite video I've ever made.
I feel like the thumbnail and the title don't catch people.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's kind of intended. I don't.
Well, yeah, but then that's why the algorithm kills it because no one clicks on it.
I know, but I'm not
so it goes,
complaining.
"Oh, I guess I won't recommend it to people."
I'm not complaining about that. The real ones will know. the
Why
real...
did I just gain a subscriber 51 minutes ago? Okay. So people just subscribe to me from your channel. I don't know. I'm not gonna post anything.
Just in case, you never know.
Yeah.
So no more practical videos. What do we know more practical videos? Obviously, there's gonna be more practical videos. Let's
I
not...
think you need to like find someone who can harness like clickbait while keeping it true.
I can
Because
do that.
I feel like one of the biggest things holding your channel back is just the thumbnails and the titles. And I feel
Okay,
like people don't
let's
stick
get
with
one
them.
thing straight. It's not that I don't do clickbait because I am unable to or I can't. I object to it. Listen,
No, okay, I'm also against clickbait when it's untruthful, when it's like misleading. But I feel like you can make something a bit clickbaity
Listen.
without like subtracting.
I don't mean to
clickbait.
be that guy, but it is a bit insulting to my intelligence to assume that I made a video that got 1,600 views, and then I made the next video of the same length, very similar title, very similar thumbnail, and I expected it to be different. All right, like
No, I know that.
trust me, I knew how it would perform.
Oh, that guy typing in chat is the guy who subscribed. I find it really weird. It tells me who subscribed to me because I don't get any subscribers.
I remember when that stopped happening to me. When it stopped happening to me, that felt weird. Because YouTube, up to like 300 subscribers, it used to tell me every single person who subscribed. It was really wholesome. Because every single time someone subscribed, I was like, oh my god, there's a new person. Right now, nothing.
It's weird though because I feel like I shouldn't know that.
You know what's even
Like sometimes
funnier?
some of the people who like I click on their account and it's like a very personal account. I'm like, I feel like this should be anonymous.
I think there was a way to make it anonymous, but I don't know how. Another fun thing is that I actually have a list of every person who subscribed to me publicly, and I sometimes go through the list and I check out channels of different people.
Oh,
Yeah, I can see the most popular
find me on there?
the most popular person that subscribed to me has more subscribers than me.
Oh,
Yeah.
what's their channel about?
I don't remember exactly. I remember the channel of one person who subscribed to me who has low subscribers. The most viewed video on their channel, and it wasn't even close. It was like an average video on the channel was like 1,000 views. The most viewed video on the channel had like hundreds of thousands, and it was of horse as fucking.
Oh,
I remember that fact. Hold on, right here. No clue. Yeah,
Interesting.
However, hold on. Last 19 days. Is it this one? Yeah, there we go. See? I check out.
Whoa. Okay.
And just like it is not close. But yeah. See, I check out the channel sometimes. I'm interested. Just add Mr. Beast to the thumbnail soy facing. I don't feel like that would increase my viewership.
Just add yourself soy facing, and that would definitely increase the viewership.
I think I can bend the Make It mask elf shape to make it soy face if I tried.
You could easily make your make the mask
I need
do a
to-
soy face point.
Because I already made the sad Make It. Or rather the disappointed, the negative Make It. There's a lot of emotions going on in that Make It. This one, worried kid, there we go. I love this image so much. let me try to make a soy face. Oh, whatever, don't select this.
You need a mouth though. You need to add a mouth.
I don't think I do actually. I'm gonna try to do it without the mouth. See if I can do it without the mouth. So first of all, I need this to be normal mask ideally. Can I control Z? No, I cannot. Well, normalize this, make it just a bit. Question, the age-old question, can make it soy face. We're answering it today. I like this. Okay, that's what I'm doing. That looks like the SCP-096.
This just looks like it's missing the mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
Can
It
you not
is.
just add like a you can just use the
you know,
same
you know what I can
thing
do?
you
Hold
use
on,
the
I
eyes.
know what I can do. Is it this one? No, it's not. Is it this one? It is, okay. Hold on. I know what I can do.
Are you gonna change the texture to look like it has a mouth
I'm just
without actually
gonna
adding a mouth?
paint on the mouth. Just like cartoon style, you know? Just cartoonish. Oh, hold on, I need to change from paint hard because that's reserved for wizard images. I'm not making a hard painting here. Never mind, I might need to do. Is any? No? Really? No, happens to.
What?
I do have a like what would make this much easier is if I just did it on these because they're already in the right pose. I feel like this is already soy enough, if I'm to be completely honest. This feels soy make it enough.
I mean, kind of.
I have so many makers. I even forgot about so many. What other makers do I have actually? I have the typical 3D make it, which is just a happy little boy, very enjoying themselves. Good for them. Another really hard going image, just like I love creating make it images that just go hard. Every single time I make a new pose, I make a new file. This one's also solid. Is there any kitty? Well, you're welcome. Alright, wait, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was bawling. Right, I remember now. And PG's not easy to get things to do for you. All you have to say is, it will look good for college, or it will look good for your PhD. The problem is that I don't like lying, and if I'm to be completely honest with you, I feel like it will actually actively harm anyone's PhD. Sorry, Flame. So sorry, Flame. I mean, it did help you, didn't it? Very minor way,
Yeah.
but scored some points.
Yeah, the supervisor saw the video, he liked it.
That's actually, you shouldn't have let him. You should have just mentioned the video and not sent the link.
No, he liked it. He was asking me like what parts of it I worked on.
Well, I mean, okay, I don't mean to be mean, but if he was asking you what parts of it you worked on, that feels like he didn't watch the video.
Yeah, it kind of felt like he didn't watch all of it.
Which is a huge shame, because if he watched it
Yeah,
chronologically...
if he only watched the first part, then that would be
that's...
But I mean, I told him in the email. I was like, I speak through the second half.
I hope he didn't watch it.
I think he just glanced at it. Like, oh, these animations, this is so cool. It's cool that he's doing this. But he's mentioned it a couple of times. He's like, yeah, it's good to just do stuff on the side, and it's a good niche to have.
Now you gotta now you can try
to be a PhD student who is actually involved in a bit of science communication is pretty good.
That's actually good. I mean, it goes way deeper than that. I feel like because you're going at it from science needs more science communication. I'm going at it from the opposite point of view, which is science communication needs more science.
Well,
in my opinion,
yeah,
that is
I agree
a
with
much
that as well.
bigger problem. Like I do understand the
It's a very fine line though, because it's very easy to make something a bit too complex for people to want to give all that attention to it.
I feel like, in my personal opinion, it's not the line. It's not like the amount of science and the amount of communication are at odds with each other. I feel like there is a certain degree of skill involved where you can just have both done properly.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I think it does just feel like the
limit.
reach of something gets smaller and smaller the more complex it is.
I mean,
like, I feel like the
yes,
simplest things will get the most views, and that makes it challenging for a lot of people doing science communication.
That's why I like people like...
And you see on channels like Veritasium, like they're very clickbaity, and when you actually know about the topic they're talking about, they're not really saying anything. It's a very introductory
yeah, unfortunately,
view into the field.
I think a proper way to do it would be... But to be fair, I am not all that familiar with the field, so that could be it. I could be just falling to the victim to the typical popular science thing, but Kurzgesagt with medicine videos. That seems to be a really nice way to do it, because they don't go into the actual things that deter people from medicine, which is the sheer amount of info. But at the same time, they try to keep it... They still show the fact that there is this much info in there. It's ridiculous to me that when it comes to Kurzgesagt, they make like an entire massive map. Like a massive map of like how, for example, the... what's the name of the system? It's meant for defensive. You know, the antiviruses and such. Immune system, there we go. Like, they make an entire map of how an immune system works.
I find that stuff really cool.
Yeah, but they make like this entire map, you know, all the connections and such, only to show it in the video for like 5 seconds, just to make the point that they are giving an oversimplified view of the topic.
Yeah.
I find that ridiculous. Oh, hold on.
I think Abhishek joined, but has the too young role. Like, they made a new account.
Again?
The other account had access, though. The other account I could ping the channel.
There we go. I removed the too young rule again.
Ping the new one. Yeah, Abhishek, you should be able to type now.
My main problem with a lot of math videos is that they just show the thing and what's it doing, but give a few examples of practice problems, and this is the opposite problem with textbooks. Yeah, but to be fair, Last Beanbender, in the defense of the videos, like, most of mathematics doesn't have a practical, practical problem or practical application. Let's be real here.
I feel like most people watching maths on YouTube are interested in recreational maths and not maths to solve problems.
Yeah, but at the same time, have you, like, heard Roblox talk? This man doesn't believe reality exists. This man never perceived reality.
I think that's a very reasonable take for a mathematician.
No, well, the one thing I really like, the saying that Roblox really often says, which is that in mathematics, like, the only motivation for most of mathematics is that it's fun to think about stuff. Like, well, okay, I'm not conveying the message well, but the point is that you don't do mathematics to find a practical reason for something. You just do it for fun and then eventually stumble upon a practical thing that can be used in practice.
I mean, that's how a lot of science works as well. It's just that to get the funding, you have to pretend there's a practical reason. Like when I was speaking to my supervisor, I was up at the uni a couple days ago, and we were he was telling me about some new materials he wanted to look at and some like magnetic materials, and I just get the vibe he like really he was saying he really just doesn't care about the applications. He's like, yeah, this won't really have any applications, but it's really cool. And it's like a lot of scientists, I think, will just they want to do something that is cool, and it's just that to get funding you have to say it's got an application.
Mechanochemistry.
Yeah, well, his niche is like he does the I can't spill too much without doxing.
It's
but
fine.
It's like,
yeah, I mean,
he sees what materials people are making and then finds a way to make a slightly different one that might be really interesting, and then we study that with our massive magnet for NMR.
Organic chemistry tutor is a really good tutor. Organic chemistry tutor is great because I've seen them do everything about organic chemistry. I haven't met a person yet who is watching organic chemistry tutor for chemistry. I've seen most people I've seen just watch them for the mathematics, which I find hilarious. By the way, Abhishek, I don't know if you're still watching.
Chemistry.
You just watch them for chemistry, organic chemistry.
Just for any chemistry.
I've seen one of their videos for something about equilibrium. One thing about equilibrium. No, don't exactly remember what, but never for organic chemistry. Hold on, Abhishek. Really quickly, I want to mention that if you keep rejoining with new accounts, every one of your new accounts will get the 2-yang roll. I am manually removing them for each and every single one of your accounts, but if you join in with a new account, it will in fact get a 2-yang roll, which I will then remove. However, on the beginning, you will not have access to the server. I know
This keeps making a new one?
Wait, it keeps making a new account for you?
What?
That is... So, like, you're trying to log in back into an account, but it just makes a new one. Well, that is a really big pickle, actually, for my server. That's...
Someone asked who funded the scientists who discovered all the math and science which took centuries to find a practical application for. I mean, back in the day, weren't most scientists just like really rich white guys?
Yeah.
Who they had a bunch of free time, so they just went off and did stuff, but they had the money.
Either that, or there were sponsors. Which actually, that's fairly similar to how academia functions nowadays, isn't it? Except back in the day, it used to be like just rich people, and nowadays it's mostly governments. Unless we're talking about R&D, obviously.
You have to apply and argue why you deserve the taxpayer money to do that research.
Yeah. So I mean,
but back then it was just people who had the money doing.
I feel like this is actually a pretty good it shows pretty well of what kind of science does best, because it's actually a really solid argument for public funding of science. Because if you think about it, back in the day when it was all just like individual people funding the science, back then science research was really slow. Like unbelievably slow.
I mean, yeah.
Then when it comes to private funding, I really don't like private funding personally, but that's mainly because I feel like it leads to bad science. Classic example, just climate change. Like, and then the public is usually the best. However, well, people don't like it.
Tweet too much. Someone else, what do all the rich white guys do nowadays instead of discovering math and science? Tweet too much. I mean, nowadays the really rich guys they're trying their hardest to get more rich. That's all they do.
I feel like back then they
It's
were
a
also
category
doing
that
that.
self-selects for people who can't get enough money.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was rich people basically kept artists and scientists as pets and they'd find them for fun. I mean, yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. Back in the day, it was also really upsetting is how really often they paid the scientists to do the science so that then the science research would be attributed in their name, which is curious. I suppose.
That was a common thing with women in science as well.
With women, it was also the additional thing that they had to pretend
Yeah.
that a man did the research.
Yeah.
Additional layer of bullshit on top. Man, history of science, history in general is dark, I believe. Past sucked. Thank goodness
I
we're in
kind
the
of need to
present.
go in a minute, by the way.
It's fine. You already
Unless you want
talked
to
me a lot.
ask anything.
No, I think that's it. One. Okay, then quickie. A quick question. Vibrational states. That is just the vibration of molecules. Like vibration states are literally describing
Yeah.
just vibration of electrons going forwards, backwards.
What do you mean by forwards, backwards?
Well, I mean because
No, it's not. It's not electrons vibrating.
molecules. I mean atoms.
Yes.
So if you
Okay,
have
I had to make sure there.
CLH like this, then they're going like this, right? And it is literal, like physical movement back and forth.
Yes, but there are. Hang on. There are more types of vibration than just backwards and forwards.
I mean, I have a.
There are different vibrational modes. Like they can wiggle around. They can twist. What? Not in this, but in bigger molecules, they can twist. There are a bunch of different ways for them to vibrate, and those different vibrations will give you different energies.
Okay, one additional question then. If it's a quick one, then if it's not a quick one, you don't have to answer. But like a vibrational mode, what's that?
That's not a quick one.
Okay, then it's fine. You can leave it there then.
You can Google it. I think you'd be able to figure it out.
Yeah, that's why I said you don't have to, because I mean I have a textbook right here. Checkup, by the way.
It basically just means different ways they vibrate.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
One thing, just Checkup, you just said it's been centuries since we got a scientist as popular as Einstein, Tesla, and Marie Curie. You're so right. All guys like Hawking, for example. Who is?
I think Hawking was very popular.
Yeah, I mean Hawking, but he's such a long time ago, right? Hawking or Higgs, also a really long time ago. No one it's just such a shame we don't have any of these scientists nowadays. These popular scientists.
I think a thing is as well. They probably weren't popular in their time.
Yeah, I think
I
would say
popularity is very retrospective.
I would say that when it comes to people who are alive at the time of the popularity, Hawking was the most popular scientist of all time.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been anyone in history who was as popular when they were alive as Hawking. Curie repairment. There are a lot of scientists that deserve more popularity. So Einstein could have been similarly famous, but certainly is way more famous right now.
Have you seen that picture with like a bunch of famous physicists all just like in one picture?
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
And it's like it kind of just doesn't, like, your brain doesn't accept it because you imagine they were all alive at different times and they were actually just there hanging out.
Chaco, you just said Hawking died, so he doesn't count. We don't have popular Gen Z scientists. Obviously, we fucking don't have any popular Gen Z scientists. You realize how young Gen Z are in comparison to science? Damn, science really fell off. Gen Alpha didn't do anything yet. My goodness. Gen Alpha hasn't made any significant contribution to science. What a dumb, what a dumb demographic. I really don't like it when people say that. Oh, nowadays nothing major. Yeah, major things still happen in science. It's just most people, like, it's just that the knowledge is so specific. It hasn't gotten to the general public.
It's also all progress now is very collaborative, so you don't like you don't get one like superstar
I don't
scientist
think-
who
I
does
don't-
something.
I
It's
mean-
always teams.
No, I wouldn't say that either, because I mean, like Higgs boson, for example. Like, that was a huge collaborative effort, but you know, it's still Higgs who got the spotlight.
Yeah.
So I feel like even though the research is very collaborative, it will still happen that certain scientists will just stand out a lot. But to
Yeah.
me, whenever someone says that nothing major happens in science nowadays, that's kind of that's so dumb, because it's people trying to criticize modern science when in reality they're just dunking on themselves, because it means that they just don't know what happens in science nowadays. If you think that there aren't any popular scientists nowadays, that means you probably don't know much about science. Like,
Okay, I'm gonna go.
okay, it's fine. Thank you so much.
Let me
for
know
the
if you have
help.
any questions. Feel free to
All
just
right.
message.
Thank you so much.
All right. See ya. Have fun.
Bye. Okay, there we go. Abhishek is on. The others are in their late 20s. I mean, yeah, obviously people in late 20s won't be able to contend with people who have, I don't know, 40 years of experience in the field. Boltzmann institution is so good. I don't like Boltzmann. The man was clearly insane. The thermodynamics. That's a war crime. He's the reason why thermodynamics exists. Absolutely terrible. I think I'm making a double copy, but oh well, whatever. If we take this, if we move... There we go, and then if we take the ball... And then... Oh, can we somehow make the ball... Can we, isn't that science advancing? The general public isn't interested in science, not celebrating scientists like we used in the past. That's not true. As I mentioned, Hawking is a pretty simple example that we still do celebrate scientists. It's just that what you have to realize is that you are falling to a certain retrospective bias in that case. Because popularity really accumulates over time. Right now, we probably have a bunch of scientists which we don't realize have done groundbreaking research, simply because we don't know why the research is groundbreaking yet. It takes a lot of time, decades most of the time, even though right now it's accelerating, so it could take less, but it takes a lot of time in order for not only the research to happen, but for us to appreciate what the research means. Now, Einstein, I would say that Einstein was kind of like Hawking, but when it comes to people like, I don't know, Feynman, I suppose? I don't think Feynman was popular when it comes to general public back when he was alive. Wait, did I get the right one, Feynman? Like I'm confusing him with someone. I don't know, my brain is going mush a bit. It's been 3 hours that we've been streaming. I know public was generally celebrating scientists in the past. I mean, no, in a way they were. It's just that it doesn't happen as much. It didn't happen as much as we would right now think it did. Most scientists in World War II and post-World War II were very popular during that time, even more popular than actors of their time. But that was for a very specific reason. They weren't popular because people really liked science, only they were popular because they were like representing a you know, everything I'm gonna say in quotes obviously, but you know, representing a patriotic defense using science. So they weren't really popular because people used to like science a lot more, only because back then people saw science as a very like patriotic thing. It's more of a shame that, I mean, I do agree with you that people should pay way more attention to science. No comment there. I would love that. But I don't think it's decaying over time. I think it's quite the opposite. I feel like people nowadays are way more interested in science than they used to be in the past. Do you think another world war will help make science popular again? I think that's an irrelevant question. You see, Chuckle, there is another opinion that people have which I really don't like, and that is the fact that a lot of people think that wars help accelerate science, which is technically true, but in a really shitty way. That's because whilst world wars, like wars in general, do accelerate science, how should I put this? They give more funding to science, but in a very inefficient way. So, a society at peace has the potential to outpace a society at war when it comes to science. So, if wars really do accelerate science more than peacetime, that is a pretty clear sign that our policies are idiotic. The reason why. So, right now, we could achieve scientific progress much easier than if we were at war. If we were at war, there would be way less resources to go around, and so right now we have the potential to just be way better at science. And they aren't. Something good shit. So war gives us better policies that help science. No, that is not what I fucking said! No, absolutely not. Think about it this way. You have two bars, right? Think about it like a graph. Okay? This is our like resources that go to science, okay? And right here we have two states, which is at war and during peacetime. Now, the total resources available are much higher in peacetime than they are at war. At war, they are much lower. However, during wartime, a larger portion of these resources gets allocated to science, simply because, to advance the military and such. So, like, the portion. So, right here, it would be something like, I'm pulling the numbers out of my ass. I'm just trying to give you an example of what I'm talking about. So, during wartime, this would be like 60%. During peacetime, this would be like 30%. Once again, I'm pulling the numbers out of my ass. Because this is not... I'm just trying to convey what's happening, right? So this is like during peacetime, a way smaller portion gets allocated to science, which is unfortunate because we have the potential to just increase that if we want to. However, because during peacetime we have way more resources, this gives like a false sense that during wartime this helps science. It doesn't. So, for example, think about what we could have achieved if all of the money and resources that went into developing atomic weapons went instead into developing atomic reactors. Think about how much energy we could generate. But instead, we wasted that money on making atomic bombs, which are such a dumb thing for so many reasons. So ideally, peacetime can cause more scientific progress than war, but we are imperfect humans, so practically wartime helps science better than peacetime. Historically, maybe. However, I would argue that in the 21st century, in Europe at least, scientific progress is happening way faster than when the world wars were happening. Because that's another thing. What you have to realize is that during world wars, right? For example, you have to think about it in terms of countries that were actually at war. And those countries have pretty slow scientific progress. But atomic bombs go boom, so nothing was wasted. Yeah, in my opinion, this is the simplest example. Think of the energy potential that we could have achieved if we just invested the money that went into atomic warheads, if we just invested that money into developing atomic reactors. How much cheaper, how much more efficient, how much more free energy would be. Do you think scientific progress caused World War or World War caused scientific progress, or are they independent variables? I think there is correlation, but I don't think it's perfect correlation. And I definitely do not think scientific progress caused World War. I feel like it actually goes in the opposite way. Because usually the less developed a society is, the more likely they are to go to war. It may not seem like it, but 21st century is the most peaceful century. I know it may not seem like it, but that's simply because the past centuries has been really fucking violent. So over time we are becoming more and more peaceful, and the only reasonable conclusion to take there is that the more development there is, then the less likely we are to go to war. And yet we are still pouring much resources into making nukes. Yeah, I know it's idiotic, but what can you do? Well, I know what you can do. You can actually just be the change you want to see in the world, I suppose. It's easy to get into, the doom and gloom of the whole situation and be like, oh, sure. I heard that scientific progress and social progress are independent variables. Said you can be scientifically advanced but socially backwards. In a vacuum, if you think about it, then in a vacuum, yes, scientific progress and social progress can be independent. However, I wouldn't say they are independent. Simply because society, a developed society usually goes with both developments at the same time. I do believe it's orthogonality thesis that scientific progress and social progress are independent, simply because if you mean by social progress what I think you mean, then that would be just orthogonality thesis. But in practice, a really developed society from a social point of view would probably want high quality healthcare, for example, which means advanced medicine, which means they would want to advance scientific progress. Do you think we would stop being homophobic and understand the science of homosexuality better? Chaco, have you seen the difference between a scientific community and any other community? Because I can tell you from experience, scientific communities are extremely tolerant. Evolution, not one direction, is pointing to one. Yeah, but Abhishek, there is one pretty significant difference, and that is that, you see, humans are intelligent. If we notice that evolution... The thing is, humans kind of beaten evolution if you think about it. Now, yes, survival of the fittest still exists, because that's just something you cannot remove. Survival of the fittest, that's kind of exists by definition, because the fittest to survive. That's kind of like saying that 1 is equal to 1. Duh. However, when it comes to evolutions, humans kind of beaten it, because at this point we don't with humanity on the table, we don't need to wait and see what species can survive best. Only we can choose the species we want and then make them survive, not past tense, make it, you idiot. And so I don't feel like the rules of evolution apply to us anymore. In development. One of it is that goals don't correlate to intelligence. Shouldn't that imply that we can become the most intelligent species on the planet with very stupid nowadays values? Well, okay, so that is the orthogonality thesis. Yes, goals do not correlate to intelligence. However, what that means is that there aren't any stupid values. That's what orthogonality thesis means. So basically, values are completely relative. The reason why we consider some values stupid and outdated isn't because they're actually outdated. Think about it this way, okay? Humans have some kind of goal. I'm going to create like a map of all possible goals. humans have some kind of goal that we want to reach. So this point right here will represent all humans living happily forever. Okay? I feel like that's a pretty fair goal to set. This would be our terminal goal. That's the goal that we want to achieve in the end. That is our final destination we want to reach. The problem is that terminal goals are like a direction we want to go in, but they don't provide us with any insight on how to reach it. So instead what we do is we create instrumental goals. Now, what are instrumental goals? Instrumental goals like cure for cancer, forms of entertainment, something else. Those are instrumental goals. And instrumental goals are those specific actions we take. So, cure for cancer would be the easiest example. That's an instrumental goal. We don't want to cure for cancer just because. We don't want to cure cancer just because. We want to cure cancer because it will make our lives longer. So, in that sense, terminal goals cannot be stupid. It's impossible. Instrumental goals can be. So, just like making a cure for cancer is a smart instrumental goal. Why? Because it brings us closer to the terminal goal. Something like nuking the planet is an idiotic instrumental goal. Why? Because it brings us further away from our terminal goal. So when it comes to stupid and outdated values, the reason why they are stupid and outdated isn't because the terminal goal itself is stupid. Only it's because we thought it brings us closer, when in reality it brings us further away. What would be a good example of that? For example, let's just say, I need to find something, some kind of old idea that, I don't know, putting lead in everything. That feels like a good example. Putting lead in everything, we used to think that it was just, a cheap way to achieve a bunch of stuff. So we used to think that it brings us closer to the goal. However, later on we realized that it isn't here, and is actually more like in here. Why? Because lead is toxic. And so in that sense, we thought that it brings us closer to the terminal goal. However, in actuality, it brings us further away. And this is where we get to the main point, which is the fact that when it comes to terminal goals, humans have very, very similar terminal goals. Like all humans living forever, happy, pretty much everyone wants that. Yes, there is some deviation, but the point is they're very similar. They may not be identical, they are very, very similar. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing because it gives us at least some idea of a direction. And so, in that sense, the more and more intelligent we become as a society, the more we throw away all of the goals that bring us further away, and the more we inch towards the terminal goal. That's why in our case, all of the stupid and outdated values, right, will vanish with time. And the only thing that will be left is our terminal goals. Now, once again, terminal goals may vary between a person. So just because someone thinks a terminal goal is stupid, that doesn't mean a terminal goal is stupid. By definition, it cannot be. So homophobia is outdated because it takes us away from our terminal goals. Yeah, like for example, if you think about it, then, homophobia doesn't really bring us any closer, does it? It only brings us further away because it creates more hate, more negative feelings, and such and such. So that's why, over time, I do believe it will vanish. What's more, there is also some pretty solid historical evidence for it to vanish, because all of the phobias disappear over time. They all just disappear over time. There are still a bunch of racist people living right now, but in the past, we used to be way more racist to each other. In the past, sexism used to be so normalized that, as I previously mentioned, like certain women in science had to pretend that a man did all of the research because sexism was so normalized. We used to be way, way more phobic. So I do believe there is no point to pretend as if that's gonna stop now. We do become more inclusive over time. But still no one wants to give more money to spaceflight. Yeah. I don't think most of us really want to or prioritize being happy most of the time. I'm saying all of us happy forever as a vague terminal goal, obviously. We can't actually specify our terminal goal. I'm just giving it as a, vague idea. You know what I mean. every living being on the planet being satisfied forever. That's like a general vague description of a time ago. Einstein being progressed over time was zero, but imagine there is no zero, no temperature exists. You could point and stuff just walked. Isn't that just the basic physics model? That there is no time zero. Like, isn't Big Bang just the point in time where our laws of physics started applying? Not really the beginning of the universe. Like, I do believe the current model is that the universe is infinite, both spatially and temporally, or both with space and time, if I don't want to sound like a pretentious prick. Einstein laws don't work at time zero. I mean, yeah, because everything was too small, concentrated, too powerful. Progress still, but I'm not as convinced in the inevitability of progress various forms of bigotry as much as I did before, though. I think that historically, societies always become more inclusive. Limited resources and time. Feel like most of us don't want to be happy and live forever as us and our loved ones. Chuckle, I mean, yeah, we have limited resources and time, but just because those resources are limited, it doesn't mean there aren't that many of them. Like, think about it. When it comes to Earth, okay? When it comes to Earth, we mostly just occupy the surface. All of our resources, all of the resources that humanity ever got were just from the surface of the Earth. We have an entire sphere, and we are just like a minuscule thin line. And all of this can be accessed if we just knew how. What's more, asteroid belts are just there, free for the taking, if only we had space travel. That's better. All the different planets in the solar systems. All of the different solar systems. The sun, my goodness, sun is like 99.9% of the mass in the solar system, right? So, yeah, our resources are limited, but, I don't think a human can conceptualize just how many resources we can actually get. Let's not pretend as if we need to compete. What's more, competition could be just inefficient. Because if you compete, you do get more resources in the short term, but in the long term, cooperation is much better. Now, yeah, then we do end up with the whole age-old problem, oh, what if people don't cooperate and such, but, I mean, that's just... As the organization become more inclusive is the other thing that of the last few hundred years. Leo... Okay, what is your reasoning, Leo, for thinking that a trend that continued for the last few hundred years will stop now? We actually occupy a very small fraction of the surface, but I think thinking of the whole volume of Earth's free real estate seems silly to me. Well, it is silly right now because we cannot access it, but why would it be silly in the future? And I don't mean here real estate as in living space, I mean the resources. Because like living space, we can manage. What if we can't both feed everyone on the planet and keep them healthy and at the same time access the resources in space? What if we have to choose one, a trade-off? Well, yeah, if we have to choose one, then that would be a pickle. However, so far, it doesn't really appear like we have any evidence that in the end we would have to choose one. Right now, yes, and that's what creates all the divides. And I'm not gonna sit here and pretend as if I have a fucking solution to the problem. Listen, complex socio-economical problems usually don't have simple solutions. I am just sitting here, and the argument I am making is that over time, every single problem we have right now will either be solved or mitigated. Because that's how progress works. That's the argument I'm making right now. But that is over time. Right now, I ain't got solutions. It ain't my job. I just make silly YouTube videos. I know those, yeah. My principal worry is that the new format and tools of communication can be used to empower incumbents by maintaining division in the populace. that could be a worry, but to me it seems like the opposite is true. If you think about it, back in the ye olden days, before the internet or like instantaneous communication, phone lines, whatever, radio, before all of that, it was much easier to divide people. Simply because they couldn't communicate for long distances. We individually might be getting smarter over time, but sophistication of the tools might outpace us. That is true. There is a genuine worry about that, how the entry level keeps going up and up and up and becoming more and more problematic for people to get into stuff. The problem is, if given enough time, we can access space better than the resource name. Sorry, but the people alive nowadays would be dead by then. Okay, so couple of things there. First of all, this is my personal opinion. I don't want to accent that. However, I think that people alive right now, a lot of people alive right now, might reach immortality simply because, as I've mentioned previously, immortality will not be reached once we develop immortality, whatever the fuck that would mean. Immortality will be reached when an average lifespan increases at 1 year per year. That's when we'll reach immortality, or at least we'll beat aging. So with that in mind, I do believe that a lot of people alive right now might end up, just living long enough to cure aging. But that is my personal opinion. That is true. You can disagree with that. I have no problem. I am going on just vibes. Biologically impossible, bruv. Why would that be impossible? Tell me exactly. Also, tools and communication could just divide. Average age is not increasing 1 year per year. I know. That's why we're not, we haven't cured aging yet, by my definition. What I'm saying is that people alive right now, a lot of people alive right now will live long enough to reach a point when the average lifespan will increase a year by year. Age brings a lot of issues, especially with capillaries. Imagine tiny... Mickey is still alive. Well, not for much longer. We're just keeping up the conversation mostly, to be completely honest. You can see I'm not doing any work. Since in linear, we can't expect 1 year per year thing to go work for that long. As I mentioned, that is my personal opinion. You can disagree if you want. Does your life not exhaust you? Okay, you know what? I do have to end the stream now and go focus on the video some more. So this will be the last question, and we're gonna end the conversation here. Does your life not exhaust you? To do a little bit of a... I don't want to go in depth because I frankly think it's really fucking boring. But the point is, I went through a lot in my life, and I kind of... How should I put this? I've developed a certain kind of resistance to life. This is why I'm able to dedicate all of my time exclusively to work, with no social life, no private life, no hobbies, no nothing. Only and only work. The reason why I'm able to dedicate that is because I've grown resilient to life, let's just say. Which is why it comes so easy for me to be optimistic. It's easy to be optimistic when you don't have to when you don't care about the negatives. Anyway, I did promise it would be the last question. Last question, that's it. I need to go. I need to go back to work because I'm not animating anything and it's bothering me. I really want to finish this video hopefully this week. I'll try my best. We'll see what I can do. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. It was really lovely. It was really lovely talking with you all. I really enjoyed it. And I'm really glad you all joined in on the stream. I genuinely had a really good time. It was really lovely talking with you all. And for now, that'll be it. Thank you everyone so much for watching and have a great day. Bye.